Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Naruto. Obtain the Deidara explosion-style bloodline and six-path sage body at start. Chapter 1. Go away, Demon Fox. I won't sell you anything here. You broom star. A fat middle-aged man pushed Uzumaki Naruto to the ground and looked at him with disgust. This demon fox should be killed, but it's a pity that Lord Third Hokage is too kind. My parents died at the hands of the demon fox 12 years ago. If Fourth Hokage hadn't sacrificed himself, I'm afraid I would have died long ago. Hurry up, no one in Konoha village will sell you anything. The insults and humiliations of other villagers came from around, like a knife, piercing Naruto's heart with one knife. Uzumaki Naruto was pushed to the ground, looked at each other blankly, and sighed in his heart. Sure enough, like Naruto in the original book, it is difficult to buy food. I am afraid I can only steal it or go fishing in the river by myself. Obviously, the Uzumaki Naruto in front of me has long been replaced by a Hokage fan from the earth. When he was playing the Hokage mobile game at the time, he was confused in the pop-up dialog box named Destiny Selection System and chose the option 1 or 2. Then, he became Uzumaki Naruto in a daze. And within half an hour after this crossing, I fully realized the feeling of being cast aside by everyone around me. This feeling is very bad, making him very aggrieved, as if a volcano is about to erupt in his heart. Ding dong. Fate selection system is loaded. Novice task release. Solve the problem of eating. 1. The Virgin's Choice. Beg the fat boss, ask him to have mercy on himself and sell himself some food. Reward. Our Lady's Halo 1. Quote. 2nd. The Devil's Choice. Take revenge on the fat boss who bullied himself, and use violence to control violence. Reward. Deidara explosion-style blood succession limit. Quote. Uzumaki Naruto stared blankly at the fate selection system in his mind and raised his brow. Could it be that this is the culprit that allowed him to travel into this world? He was depressed, and there was another gurgling sound in his stomach. At this time, he was already hungry and could only helplessly say to the fat boss and surrounding villagers, I'm really not a demon fox. Think about it, if I am a demon fox, why don't I eat you? Why am I still buying food from you? That's because the great Lord Third Hokage has subdued you. You can't transform into a demon fox. Yes, but you are still a demon fox, and the demon fox should be executed. The insults from onlookers came from the villagers, and they didn't listen to Naruto's explanation at all. The fat boss of the shop showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth. He turned around and walked back to the shop to bring a carton of milk and hand it to Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto was overjoyed and stood up gratefully, bowed to the fat boss, and went to pick up the milk with both hands. There was an incredible voice from the surrounding villagers. At this moment, the fat boss twisted his body, turned around and poured the milk into a broken bowl next to him. Naruto recognized the bowl, which was the bowl of a puppy raised by the other party. The demon fox should be eating on the ground with 4 legs. Would you like to lick the milk in this bowl? The fat boss looked at Naruto with a sneer and said, Ha ha ha, you see him like a dog. Hurry up and eat, demon fox, hurry up. There was laughter and sarcasm from the villagers around. Naruto bowed and reached out to take the milk stiffly, his face flushed and angry. He looked at the system interface in his mind and made the second choice without hesitation. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for making the choice and rewarding Deidara explosion-style blood succession boundary. Please complete the task within 1 day, otherwise the reward will be withdrawn. Ding dong. Host will receive a special reward after completing this novice mission. Naruto glanced at the ugly faces of the villagers around him, wrote down their faces one by one, and engraved them in his mind. Then he stood up from the ground, grabbed a handful of dirt inadvertently with his right hand, turned and walked towards the house. According to memory, Naruto's home is opposite the shop, on a dilapidated 2-story building. He is the only one living in the entire small building, but only the corner room on the 2nd floor belongs to him. Hungry, he heated the only box of expired milk left at home and drank it. Then, there was no more food. The milk was stolen from the shop opposite by Naruto before, and for this, he was severely beaten by the fat boss. Soon, night fell. Uzumaki Naruto lay on the bed and recalled the short failure of his previous life, and said goodbye to it. I can't go back anyway. From now on, I am Uzumaki Naruto, and Uzumaki Naruto is me. It is the 60th year of Konoha. When the plot begins, tomorrow is the graduation exam for the ninja school. He now wants to make up for it, and it is impossible to strengthen his cultivation. What's more, he still has important things to do tonight. 5 hours later, the night became darker and the entire Konoha village fell into silence. Naruto was lying on the bed, with his hands hidden in the bed, and both palms had a hideous mouth. He was chewing on the dirt he grabbed from the ground before and turning them into special explosive clay. Deidara's explosion style is to mix your own chakra into ordinary soil through the special big mouth in the palm of your hand to get white detonating clay, then make the detonating clay into various flexible animals, and finally explode these clay animals to attack the enemy. Now, after 5 hours of production, 50 tiny clay ants have been produced. Although he couldn't help being angry and intolerable when he thought of the fat boss's bad attitude towards him during the day, he decided to spare his life and teach the other party a profound lesson. After all, he had never killed anyone. So, he sent only 30 clay ants, along the cracks in the floor, one by one out of the door, into the opposite shop. This shop is located in the front yard of the house, and the fat boss who bullied Naruto lives in the backyard of the house. Naruto first gathered all the 15 clay ants in the front yard, then hid his head in the bed, and shouted in excitement. Art as an explosion. Boom! The front yard shop opposite was directly blown to the ground. All the glass in Naruto's house was shattered, but he didn't care at all, stood up pretending to be panicked, and ran to the door to check the effect of his explosion. He saw the fat boss running out of the backyard with his bare buttocks, crying bitterly at the ruins of the shop, and he couldn't bear it. He felt that what he had done was a bit too much, and there was no need to really blow up the shop and scare the fat boss. He was a Miyoshi citizen in his previous life and had never done anything to bully. Although this explosion did not hurt anyone, it still awakened the entire Konoha village that had been in chumping for a long time. Third Hokage rushed here, but did not show up. Instead, he first communicated with the Anbu ninja who was monitoring Naruto, and found that there was nothing unusual in Jinchuriki, so he was relieved. Why did you just bully Naruto in the afternoon, and your shop exploded in the evening? Is someone fighting for Naruto? Some villagers whispered to the fat boss. As soon as this person said, the surrounding villagers also guessed. The fat boss looked up at the second floor opposite with a bit of fear, and when he saw Naruto looking at him calmly, he was panicked, and quickly turned his gaze back. Secretly third Hokage frowned. He just thought of this possibility, thinking of someone who might do so. When Naruto heard what the villagers said, he was overjoyed. He felt that his purpose had been achieved and that others would not bully him anymore, so he was about to turn around and go back to sleep. At this time, the villagers downstairs continued to talk. Nonsense, if someone really fights against that demon fox, why not just give the demon fox something to eat? That's right, that monster fox is a catastrophe. Did you forget that he almost destroyed the entire Konoha village 12 years ago? That's right, I said in the afternoon, don't let that demon fox approach your shop. Look, I was right, your shop exploded at night. Why didn't this explosion kill the demon fox? We will go to Master Third Hokage tomorrow and let him put that demon fox to death. Master Hokage is so kind, he will definitely agree. Listening to the persuasion of the surrounding villagers, the fat boss no longer felt afraid, but became angry. He pointed to Naruto who was upstairs opposite and shouted, "Demon fox, I blame you for this broom star. I will go to your house to beat you up tomorrow morning." Standing in the dark, Third Hokage heard that the villagers were indifferent to Naruto's insults but carefully observed Naruto's reaction. Naturally, he will not be affected by the villagers' comments because he knows that there are always Anbu ninjas around Naruto, and there is no chance for others to give Naruto food. And Naruto, who had just turned around and was about to go back to sleep, lowered his head after hearing the insults from the surrounding villagers and the fat boss, and took a step forward, leaving the whole person in darkness. He didn't want anyone to see the hideous color on his face at this moment. Half an hour later, Hokage's office. Third Hokage looked gloomy, looking at the real investigation report of the shop explosion. It clearly reads, what the highly suspicious ninja did, and suspected that it was related to Naruto being bullied by the shop owner in the afternoon. Who would it be? Is it the Konoha shinobi who understands Naruto's true identity and sympathizes with Naruto? Third Hokage continued to think. For example, Kakashi and Namikaze Minato's other old parts. From now on, let Anbu monitor all these suspicious people. If you really find the latter, kill them immediately. In addition, it's better to improve Naruto's living standards, and I can give him more food from tomorrow. In the early morning of the next day, Naruto woke up from his sleep and saw 2 bottles of milk on the table. He was taken aback. Could it be that third Hokage started to treat him kindly because of what happened last night? Sure enough, Ren-chan was deceived by others, and Ma-chan was ridden by others. At this time, the voice of the system resounded in my mind. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for completing the novice mission, and a special reward, Uzumaki Sage Body. The system has helped the host to cover up the red hair. Special reward, Sage Body of the Uzumaki clan. Is it a pure Uzumaki clan physique? Naruto thought excitedly. Although I and Kushina have the same surname as Uzumaki, this body does not inherit the pure blood of the Uzumaki clan, otherwise my hair should have been red. Fortunately, after the system gives me the Uzumaki Sage Body, it will also help me hide the changes in my hair. It's a very caring system, great. As Naruto thought about it, his physique began to change, and a warm stream of heat flowed through his body. Feeling the greater amount of chakra in his body than before, Naruto was delighted. Uzumaki Sage Body, inherited from Ashura, son of Sage of 6 Paths, contains powerful physical power. Comes with Karagura Heart Eye, physical healing, adamantine sealing chains, huge chakra amount, seal skill talent, and other skills and characteristics. You can refer to Uzumaki Kushina and Nagato and Shongrin in the original work to know that every skill and characteristic is a powerful auxiliary ability. For example, Kagura Shinyen can perceive the nature, movement, and quantity of chakra within tens of kilometers. In addition, you can hide your chakra when you are in danger, and can judge whether the opponent is lying by sensing the chakra of others. For example, physical healing, by biting your own skin, you can quickly recover your own or others' chakra and injuries. The effect is quite powerful. In the original book, Shongrin can heal even Tsunade whose body is cut into 2 parts. For example, adamantine sealing chains, which can extend multiple chakra chains from the back, not only can be used as a powerful attack weapon, but also can be used to create enchantments and seal tail beasts. For example, huge amount of chakra, let alone a detailed explanation. Another example is seal skill talent, which allows him to quickly learn and integrate all the master's sealing techniques, and his understanding of runes is even more innate. In general, after possessing this Uzumaki Sage Body, Naruto is equivalent to possessing the abilities of map hanging, detection, hiding, field control, nanny, high output, special talents and so on. This is really suitable for his situation. Just having the Uzumaki Sage Body, Naruto clearly perceives the Anbu ninja who is monitoring him, and sits in the corner of his room invisibly. Naruto frowned quietly. This kind of surveillance method feels a bit insulting. Did the other party do this all these years? Then he has to figure out a way to drive this Anbu ninja out of the house, otherwise, wouldn't it be obvious to the other party to pick up his nose? What privacy is there? After Naruto got up, thinking of Anbu hiding in the corner next to him, he pretended to be surprised and picked up the milk on the table. When he was about to drink it, he suddenly smelled a rotten taste in the milk. Looking at the production date again, it has expired for 2 months. Too much deception. After all, I'm still a child, do I need to bully me like this? Naruto squeezed the milk carton tightly, making no secret of the anger and grievance in his heart. It is miserable enough to think that I came to this world alone, and I feel that Naruto, the predecessor in my memory, has lived in this environment for 12 years, from baby to teenager. Finally, think of the curses and threats from the fat boss last night. A strong sense of grievance and anger came to my heart. He was holding the milk in his hand and wanted to put it down, as if he hadn't noticed it. But after thinking about it, I felt that I couldn't bear it, otherwise would I have to eat these expired rancid foods in the future? And who knows what the other party will do in secret in the future? Ding dong. Mission released. Solve the milk expiration problem and prevent it from happening again. 1. Our Lady's Choice. Sue Grandpa 3rd Hokage and get an apology from Anbu Ninja. Reward Our Lady's Halo 1. 2. Devil's Choice. Kill Anbu Ninja once and for all. Reward Bloodline Upgrade Scroll 1. Quote, Naruto didn't make a choice right away. He had never killed anyone before, and was unwilling to kill because of this. He was going to ask the other party why he did it first. So he took a deep breath and asked in a low tone. Why give me milk that has expired? No one speaks. But he had already sensed the corner of the Anbu ninja's mouth raised 2 meters away. The other party was laughing at him silently. Don't tell me if you give me the milk that is overdue, you still laugh at me. He turned his head abruptly, looking at the invisible Anbu ninja with a flushed face, and asked again, why give me expired milk? The invisible Anbu ninja was shocked, knowing that he had been exposed, and simply showed himself. A ninja wearing a dog face mask appeared in front of Naruto. He looked at his figure and listened to his voice as a male, and he was not very old. He asked in surprise, how did you find me? Naruto did not answer, but continued to ask, why are you giving me milk that has expired? Where did I provoke you? The dog face Anbu ninja smiled and said, why should I tell you? It's not the first time you have eaten expired food, this time you didn't find it, so why not drink it? Naruto's angry teeth were about to be broken, and he grabbed the milk carton and went out. Since you don't want to say, then I will go to third Hokage to solve this problem. At the same time, he was going to select the first option in the system interface in his mind. Although he didn't know the use of Madonna's halo, he was a Miyoshi citizen in the peaceful era. How could he easily kill people, not to mention that Anbu ninja should not be guilty of death. Besides, he also thinks he can't beat the opponent. A short sword was suddenly placed on his neck, the sharp blade cut through a layer of skin, and a faint blood stain appeared immediately. If you dare to file a lawsuit, I will kill you. The dog face Anbu ninja said sternly. He didn't dare to kill Naruto, so he could only threaten him. At the same time, a strong murderous aura enveloped Naruto, making him tremble. Hey, drink milk. This is what I found specially for you. You have been drinking it for so many years. What can you do if you continue to drink it in the future? The dog face Anbu ninja holding the short sword, like a demon, continued to speak in Naruto's ear. He didn't want to do this, but the two faces that flashed in his mind made him feel very firm. Naruto trembled all over, fearful and angry. But soon he forced himself to calm down, and said in a calm tone as much as possible, you dare not kill me, otherwise you will be dead too. Naruto knew that as Jinchuriki, how could he be killed by the opponent? At this time the opponent was just intimidating himself. Thinking of this, hope once again plucked up in his heart. HMPH, you seem to be very smart, different from your silly temperament before. The dog face Anbu ninja said in surprise, but he didn't care about it, put away the short sword, kicked Naruto down, stepped on it, and looked down at Naruto condescendingly. Even if you go to Master Third Hokage to file a complaint, I am not afraid. What evidence do you have? Dog face Anbu ninja said, holding the milk carton with his hand. Go, and I will destroy the evidence. Even if Master Third Hokage believes it, he will just transfer me out of here, and my companion will continue to monitor you. Do you think I am the only one to buy you expired food? Naruto's chest was stomped vigorously by the opponent's right foot, but the violent pain made him completely calm down, even his eyes became cold. He knew that what the other party said was entirely possible. Even if his companion has not secretly abused himself, I am afraid he will not treat himself kindly, otherwise, how could the dog-faced Anbu ninja be fined for so many years? So, it doesn't work to file a complaint with Third Hokage. Boom! Dog face Anbu ninja kicked Naruto's stomach fiercely again, looking at his painful expression, proudly put milk to his mouth, and commanded. Drink it and I will tell you why we treat you like this. Do I have any other options? Naruto asked, looking at the dog face Anbu ninja coldly. No, the other party replied affirmatively. At this moment, Naruto completely gave up. He looked at the system interface in his mind and made the second choice decisively. Devil's Choice. Kill Anbu ninja once and for all. This is all you forced me. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for making a choice and reward Bloodline Upgrade Scroll 1. Please complete the task within 1 day, otherwise the reward will be withdrawn. Bloodline Upgrade Scroll, which can improve all bloodline limits and special physique abilities, and upgrade various skills attached to the bloodline at the same time. Naruto looked at the golden scroll that suddenly appeared in his hand, and immediately tore it open. Suddenly, the scroll turned into a golden light to wrap his whole body and disappeared quickly. This scene made the dog face Anbu ninja stunned, and there was a heat flow in Naruto's body, moisturizing his limbs and skeletal muscles and refreshing. In the midst of it, he felt that he was more proficient in the skills of adamantine sealing chains, physical healing, Kagura Hard Eye, seal skill talent that he had just obtained, and the amount of chakra in his body had increased a lot. Feeling that he has become stronger again, he raised his head and smiled coldly at the dazed dog-faced Anbu ninja. Adamantine sealing chains. Ha! Several golden chains rushed out from behind Naruto, and they blocked the Anbu ninja, who hadn't reacted at all, in a thunderous manner, and set up the next enchantment around to completely cover up the situation here. This kind of natural magical power of the Uzumaki clan, even Nine Tails can be blocked, let alone an Anbu ninja. The mysterious rune flashing on the golden chain possesses the ability to seal everything, and the opponent cannot use chakra at all, nor can he escape. Naruto stood up and kicked the dog-faced Anbu ninja to the ground. In the same way, he kicked him hard on his chest and abdomen. Dog-face mask Anbu ninja suffers severe physical pain. Although he can't see his face, he must be in pain and panic at the moment. You, what scroll did you demon fox just get? And you actually know the unique magic of the Uzumaki clan. The voice of the dog-face Anbu ninja was full of incredulity. Why give me overdue food? Why do you insult me so much? Did third generation let you do it? Naruto looked down at the opponent condescendingly, and instead of answering the opponent's question, he asked coldly. Dog-face Anbu ninja's mind was a little flustered. What happened now was completely beyond his expectations, so that he suspected that Uzumaki Naruto in front of him was transformed into another ninja. But this is impossible, because Uzumaki Naruto is under their Anbu's surveillance 24 hours a day, and this is again in Konoha village. But how did Uzumaki Naruto suddenly use the adamantine sealing chains technique of the Uzumaki clan? What is that golden scroll? There must be a big secret in Uzumaki Naruto's body, and this information must be told to Lord Third Generation. Flap, flap. Naruto slapped the dog-face Anbu ninja's face a few times. Say, why are you doing this? Dog-face Anbu ninja saw that he was slapped by the demon fox kid in front of him, and his anger rose to his heart, and said coldly, because you are a demon fox. As an Anbu ninja, don't you know anything like the stupid villagers outside? Naruto continued to scold. Why are you watching me? It's not because I am Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Where did the demon fox come from? What? Dog-face Anbu ninja felt that his mind was a little broken. His eyes widened and looked at Naruto. How do you know that you are Jinchuriki? I also know that my father is 4th Hokage who saved the whole village, and my mother is the previous generation of Nine Tails Jinchuriki. They are all heroes of Konoha village. Naruto grew more and more angry, resenting the grievance and humiliation she had received, and almost tears in her eyes. At this moment, he also substituted himself into Naruto in the original book. Thinking of this, Naruto slapped his face at the dog-faced Anbu ninja again. Papa, as a hero's child, not only did I not receive the courtesy I deserved, but I also received all kinds of insults and abuses from you since I was born. What did I do wrong? Is it because of my identity as Jinchuriki? But Uzumaki Mito and my mother are both Nine Tails Jinchuriki, why haven't they been like me before? Because Uzumaki Mito is the wife of 1st Hokage. My mother was covered by Uzumaki Mito at first, and then by 4th Hokage. And me, just because I am an orphan, I have no help, so I have to be arranged like this by the village. Quote, Papa, dog-face Anbu ninja is completely stunned. It's not just what Naruto said completely subverted his impression of Naruto. He didn't expect Naruto to know so many secrets. As a result, the dog-face Anbu ninja gradually lost his mind and shouted loudly. It was because your fool mother wanted to give birth to you, so that Nine Tails ran out, and my father died in the hands of Nine Tails. Wouldn't she be fine if she was not pregnant? Naruto was taken aback. He didn't expect that the other party hated him for this reason, but then he slapped him even harder. You idiot, you said such selfish things. Should my mother give Konoha selflessly for the rest of her life? Does she even have the qualifications to become pregnant? Naruto felt like he was going crazy, and his anger had gradually overwhelmed his sanity. He took out the remaining clay ant from last night from his pocket and threw it at the dog-faced Anbu ninja who was bound by the chain. The opponent began to struggle fiercely, but to no avail, the clay ant was already attached to his body. At this time, Naruto's door was kicked violently, and the fat boss shouted outside the door. "Demon Fox, open the door to your father. If it weren't for the bad luck you brought me, how could my shop explode? I just went to Master Third Generation to propose that you be put to death, but before that, I want to beat you up first." Naruto's face was fierce, his flushed eyes looked at the door of the room that was about to be kicked behind him, his hands were sealed, and he shouted, "Give me all to die." Boom! Dog-face Anbu ninja was directly blown to pieces, flesh and blood flying across. The body of Naruto, who was blown up, flew backwards, and the fat boss who had just kicked the door open was hit by Naruto head-on. The aftermath of the explosion blew the two directly downstairs. Bearing the weight and impact of Naruto, the fat boss fell downstairs severely, vomiting blood and died. Naruto himself was also uncomfortable. Although he didn't die, he was seriously injured and passed out. Check it out for me. I want to know what's going on." The roar of Third Hokage spread throughout Konoha village. The Anbu ninja moved quickly. All the ninjas and villagers in Konoha village looked at this place. They did not know who caused the explosion twice in a row. Is it a spy ninja from another country? Is it going to start the war again? This morning, everyone felt uneasy. Originally, the ninja school was scheduled to hold the graduation exam today, but it was also delayed. Hokage office. Third Hokage smoked his pipe with gloomy eyes. He was thinking about the investigation results and speculations of the two explosions in his heart. Monitoring the Anbu ninjas of Kakashi and 4th Hokage's other old divisions, they didn't find anything unusual about Kakashi and others. They probably didn't do it. Who did it? What is his purpose? In any case, Third Hokage is very clear that this kind of thing cannot be allowed to happen again, nor can the, behind the scenes, affect Naruto. After all, Naruto is the Jinchuriki of the village, a war weapon, only the master is in his hands. But how can I reasonably arrange Naruto into the roots and leave the other party with nothing to say? Third Hokage spit out a smoke ring and finally decided, if Naruto can't graduate successfully, I can use this as an excuse to recruit Naruto into root training. 10 minutes later, Iruka was called to Hokage's office. "Iruka, let's arrange clone technique for the graduation exam this time." Third Hokage took a cigarette and looked at him with a smile. Iruka is a teacher that Third Hokage attaches great importance to, because he brainwashed the will of fire to generations of students in school. Iruka's heart tightened, and she couldn't help but worry about Naruto's inability to graduate, and then said with a tangled expression on her face, "Master Third Generation, can you change the topic, because Naruto's clone technique is too bad, but his transformation technique is very good." Hee. Third Hokage's eyes narrowed, and a puff of smoke blocked his expression, and his voice seemed to become misty. "Iruka, don't worry, if Naruto fails the exam, I will recruit him to Anbu for training. After all, I care about him too." Iruka heard Third Hokage say this, and realized that Anbu is indeed a gathering place for the elite, which made her feel relieved. Then he felt that he had just rebutted Third Hokage's decision, and he became nervous. He scratched his head uncomfortably and said, "Sorry, Lord Third Generation, I didn't mean to offend you." "It's okay, so be it, you can go down." At this time, Naruto was still lying on the hospital bed. Except for barely able to move his hands, his whole body was covered with gauze from head to toe, and he did not know how many fractures. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for the first murder, and again a special reward Bloodline upgrade scroll. After receiving the reward, Naruto held the golden scroll with his right hand and unfolded it with difficulty. Suddenly, the scroll turned into a golden light to wrap his whole body, generating a stream of heat in his body and moisturizing his limbs. In the dark, he once again felt that the skill proficiency of adamantine sealing chains, physical healing, Kagura Heart Eye, seal skill talent increased again, and the amount of chakra in the body increased again. The most important thing is that his body's resilience has been greatly increased, and his whole body injuries have quickly recovered. The next day, Naruto's fractures all over his body were almost fine, and he was ready to get out of bed. He was going to return to the ninja school to take the graduation exam. After putting on the newly bought clothes, he looked at the fresh milk and grilled meat on the table and smiled disdainfully. The clothes and food were all brought to him by the new Anbu ninja, and he was relieved to enjoy it. His range of perception has covered the entire Konoha village, and the new Anbu ninja has been in his perception, and has not made any disgusting actions to his food. The milk and roasted meat are also very fresh and have no peculiar smell. Sure enough, it is the same eternal truth, people are bullied by others, and Mishan is righted by others. The graduation exam at ninja school is very simple. Basically all students can pass the exam, and then take the Konoha forehead protector and become the official Konoha genin. Except for Naruto. There are only 2 examiners, Iruka and Sandiao Mizuki. Relying on his memory, he tried hard to use clone technique, but in the end he could only transform a dead clone lying on the ground. He was a little frustrated, but he didn't expect to face the problem of not being able to graduate smoothly after crossing over. Is it going to seal book? Then learn the above multiple shadow clone technique. However, he was not sure whether he could learn it like Naruto in the original book. What if he could not learn it? Ms. Iruka, I think Naruto has passed the test like this. Mizuki said to Iruka, and gave Naruto a kind smile. No, Iruka shook his head, and said resolutely, what is the use of such a dead clone that he has transformed? I will only hurt him if I want him to graduate. Naruto sighed. He knew that Iruka did not deliberately target him, but was very strict and principled, so he could only plead. Mr. Iruka, my transformation technique is very good, why would you test my transformation technique? If I can't graduate, then I can't even be a ninja. Iruka hesitated and wanted to agree, but thought that the content of the exam was specially ordered by the 3rd generation, so he didn't dare to change it at will. Moreover, the 3rd generation also arranged a better place for Naruto. Thinking of this, Iruka looked at Naruto and comforted. It's okay Naruto, Master 3rd generation agreed to let you go to Anbu for training for a while. You know, there are elite ninjas there. After you go to Anbu, you will definitely become an elite soon. What? Naruto exclaimed, an inexplicable sense of crisis in his heart. Anbu training, isn't it about asking me to go to the Roots? Isn't the external name of the Roots Anbu training department? Gone. 3rd Hokage wants to turn me into an unsentimental weapon of war, so that I can be completely controlled. After Naruto experienced 2 crises and killed people, the sense of crisis and emotional intelligence in his heart have increased a lot. Assuming that the 2 explosions were related to himself, he immediately figured out the true purpose of 3rd Hokage. Old coin. I definitely can't be arranged into the Roots to be a puppet that extinguishes feelings. What is the difference between this and death? Naruto raised his head and looked at the clocks in the classroom. It was already 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It is estimated that he will be twisted to the Roots in the morning. In other words, he only has 1 night to solve the graduation problem. Ding dong. Mission released. Solve the graduation problem. 1. The Virgin's Choice. Peace of mind to wait for the next day to be arranged into the Roots. Reward. Fires will brainwash once, become a root ninja, secretly protect Konoha, and selflessly devote his life. Quote. 2nd, Devil's Choice. Steal the Book of Seal, pretend to learn the multiple shadow clone techniques in it, and graduate successfully. Reward. Multiple shadow clone technique and skill upgrade scroll 1. Quote. It seems that the only way to steal the Book of Seal is. System, I choose the second option. Naruto made the choice without hesitation. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for making the choice, rewarding multiple shadow clone techniques and skill upgrade scroll 1. Please complete the task within 1 day, otherwise the reward will be withdrawn. Skill upgrading scroll. You can upgrade skill levels including various ninjutsu, occult, physique, illusion, etc. According to the proficiency, the skill level is divided into no entry, small, proficient, and superb. Ding dong. Do you want to generate a personal panel? Generate. Soon, Naruto saw his personal panel in his mind. Host. Uzumaki Naruto. Age. 12 years old. Strength, Genin. Bloodline, Sage Body of the Uzumaki Clan, Level 3. Deidara Explosion Style Blood Succession Limit, Level 1. Skills, Uzumaki Family Sage Body with Skills Proficient Huge Amount of Chakra, Adamantine Sealing Chains, Kagura Hard Eye, Physical Healing, Sealing Skills. Deidara Explosion Style Blood Succession Boundary Skills Introduction Clay Ants. Multiple Shadow Clone Technique Getting Started. Transformation Technique Superior. Clone Technique Getting Started. I'm getting started with Clone Technique. Naruto asked in surprise, solve the problem so quickly. Ding dong. Since Multi-Shadow Clone Technique is an advanced ninjutsu of Clone Technique, the host will automatically reach the entry level after receiving that Multi-Shadow Clone Technique reward, and Clone Technique will also reach the entry level. So that's it. Naruto nodded in understanding. In this way, he can graduate smoothly without worrying about getting into the roots. But since he has chosen the second option and received the reward, he must steal the sealed book, otherwise the system will withdraw his reward. As for another reward, Skills Upgrading Scroll, Naruto looked at the skills of his current master and thought about it. In the long run, multiple shadow clone techniques have the greatest effect on him, because this is a practice cheater. System, use Skill Upgrade Scroll for multiple shadow clone techniques. Ding dong. Multiple shadow clone techniques are upgraded to Xiaocheng level. Ding dong. It has been detected that the host has a superior level skill, and a special reward Skill Upgrade Scroll is awarded. There is such a good thing. I am really grateful to the original Naruto. In order to practice the seduction technique, I am afraid that I have used the power of the wild. Naruto grinned, and then the newly obtained upgrade scroll was added to the multiple shadow clone techniques. Ding dong. Multiple shadow clone techniques are upgraded to proficient level. Since multiple shadow clone techniques are advanced skills of clone technique is automatically upgraded to proficient level. Naruto thought of this, and got familiar with the multiple shadow clone technique printing methods in his mind, and smiled with satisfaction. Naruto was hiding in the school's toilet card room at this time, only in this way would the Anbu ninja not discover his secret. He exited the system interface, thought for a moment, and quickly printed with both hands. Immediately, a shadow clone identical to him appeared silently next to him, and with the ability of Kagura Hard Eyes he hid his chakra and went into hiding. Then, Naruto swaggered out of the toilet and went straight to the school playground. The Anbu ninja who was monitoring him didn't notice, and continued to follow Naruto. 5 minutes later, Naruto's shadow clone quietly came to the office of Shadiao Mizuki. Naruto, why are you here? I'm about to find you. Mizuki's eyes lit up when he saw Naruto. Nonsense, do you want to confuse me in the open like the original book? Sand sculpture. Naruto's shadow clone thought in his heart, pretending to be frustrated on the surface. Mr. Mizuki, I want to pass the graduation exam. Can you do anything? When I heard Sand Sculpture Mizuki, I felt excited, and secretly said that I was really lucky, and someone would give a pillow when I fell asleep. There is one way. Mizuki smiled gently. There is a huge scroll in Hokage's office, which records many powerful ninjutsu. After you learn it, you will naturally pass the graduation exam. Really? What do I need to do, Ms. Mizuki? Naruto's shadow clone pretended to be excited. You steal it out, then take it to the forest in the northwest corner of the village. I will wait for you there, and then teach you all the powerful ninjutsu in the scroll. Mizuki looked at Naruto's shadow clone and his smile was full of bewilderment. He thought that dealing with a brainless kid like Naruto was a good deal. Okay, Naruto's shadow clone smiled at the sand sculpture Mizuki, showing his white teeth, and he continued. Mr. Mizuki, I am worried that there are ears in the partition wall here. Let's go to the empty playground and make a complete plan. Sand sculpture Mizuki looked at Naruto's shadow clone strangely. He was a little surprised that the other party was so careful, it seemed different from usual, but he didn't think too much and was completely immersed in the beautiful fantasy after stealing the Book of Seals. The empty playground is a good place to talk about secrets, because there is no hiding place for hundreds of meters, and others can't get close to eavesdrop. Naruto's shadow clone first bid farewell to the sand sculpture Mizuki, and then lifted the shadow clone in an uninhabited corner and disappeared. 5 minutes later, sand sculpture Mizuki came to the school playground. Sure enough, he saw Naruto practicing clone technique in the middle of the playground. He couldn't help but sneered, then pretended to be amiable and walked over. After Naruto sensed the Anbu ninja hiding in a tree 200 meters away, turned his back to the Anbu ninja, and smiled brightly at the sand sculpture Mizuki who walked in front of him. Teacher Mizuki, do you know what a sand sculpture means? Sand sculpture. Is it a sculpture made of sand? I have never heard of this. Sand sculpture Mizuki shook his head. It's okay, Ms. Mizuki, you will know tonight. This is the second night Naruto came into this world. Last night, he blew up the Fat Boss's shop. In the morning, he killed the dog-faced Anbu ninja and Fat Boss who insulted him and killed him. Now, he is going to steal the sealed book again. As a Miyoshi citizen in his previous life, he didn't expect that he would be forced to be like this when he just crossed into this world. I can only say that this world is too unfriendly to him. Regarding the stealing of the sealed book, Naruto has discussed a more complete plan with sand-carving Mizuki. The moon is black and the wind is high in the night, and the murder is at this time. Using the same method as before, Naruto's shadow clone sneaked out of the house quietly. Then, relying on Kagura's heart and eyes' perception and concealment ability, avoiding the patrolling garrison and Anbu ninja, carrying a barrel of oil, quietly came to Hokage's office. In his perception, 2 Hokage guards are hiding in Hokage's office. Crack! Naruto's shadow clone pried open the door of Hokage's office. The 2 Hokage guards hiding in the room immediately faced the enemy, preparing to give a fatal blow to the enemy who entered the door. But they quickly saw that the kid Naruto, who smiled and showed a mischievous expression as usual, relaxed involuntarily in his heart. In their cognition, it is not the first time that Naruto has come to Hokage's office to make a prank. He even dared to draw faces on Hokage's face sculptures before. Therefore, the 2 Hokage guards were not surprised by the behavior of Naruto at this moment. The two exchanged secretly, then revealed their figure, stood in front of Naruto, and yelled, "Hey, kid, this is not a place where you can play pranks, go home quickly." Naruto's shadow clone lowered his head and was about to spill the paint from the oil drum in his hand in the office. At this time, he heard the words and suddenly stopped his movements, as if he was taken aback. Then, he slowly raised his head, his expression was evil, and the corners of his mouth raised. "Are you talking about me? Boy, you, adamantine ceiling chains." The 2 Hokage guards were taken aback and were about to evade, but then they discovered that they were suddenly bound by several golden chakra chains, and the chakra in the body could no longer be mobilized. This is the unique ability of the Uzumaki clan. You are not Naruto. You are the ninja of the Uzumaki clan. The 2 Hokage guards will automatically fill in the true identity of Naruto's shadow clone with a word and a word. Naruto's shadow clone smiled triumphantly and transformed into a red-haired masked ninja with a bang, and judging from her figure, she was still a beautiful ninja. For Naruto, who possessed the transformation technique level and created his own sterling technique, it was too easy to transform into a female ninja. But in the eyes of the 2 Hokage guards, the masked female ninja in front of her had actually lifted the transformation technique, revealing her true face. "You really are the ninja of the Uzumaki clan. What are you doing here? Are the 2 explosions a few days ago also related to you?" Naruto's shadow clone listened to the 2 men's self-repair, laughed loudly, and did not answer their questions, but put their hands on Hokage's desk, and then a sealed enchantment appeared. The Book of Seal is hidden in the seal barrier of this desk. It is absolutely difficult for ordinary people to open it, and it is impossible to even destroy it. However, the sage body of the Uzumaki clan of Naruto has reached level 3, and seal skill talent has also reached the level of proficient. The seal enchantment in front of him was quickly cracked under his control, and a huge scroll appeared before his eyes. "Do not want. Do you want to die?" The 2 trapped Hokage guards exclaimed, and at the same time chakra exploded all over, trying to break free from the bondage of adamantine sealing chains. However, the adamantine sealing chains technique of the proficient level, coupled with the huge amount of chakra possessed by Naruto's shadow clone, is not so easy to break free at all. Naruto's shadow clone saw them chattering, and blocked their mouths with chakra chains. Then, he opened another seal barrier on Book of Seal. The complete Book of Seals appeared in front of him, let him browse through it, and then was firmly remembered in his heart. Ding dong! Host learns Impure World Reincarnation, Flying Thunder God Technique, Dark Line Technique, Tandem Paper Bombs, Senju Hashirama Wood Style Ninjutsu, Senju Tobarama Water Style Ninjutsu. The current proficiency is not getting started, it has been recorded in the host personal panel. Haha, I really made a lot of money today. Naruto Shadow Clone thought excitedly, and then knocked out the 2 Hokage guards to the ground and ran inexplicably 3 laps in the office. Naruto's new home. A few days ago, the back of the curtain bombed the dog-faced Anbu ninja to death, and at the same time it bombed Naruto's original ruined home. In order to better monitor Naruto and prevent similar things from happening again, 3rd Hokage arranged Naruto's new home very close to the Hokage building, and the living conditions have also improved a lot. At this time, Naruto, who was doing the fake decoration of clone technique in his new home, has been perceiving everything that is happening in Hokage's office. When he perceives Shadow Clone's lap movement, he knows that he should be on the court. This is the secret signal he has set in advance. Oh, so annoying. I still can't learn this clone technique. Naruto scratched his head pretending to be annoyed and said. Then he continued to mutter to himself, do I really have to do what Ms. Mizuki said? Alas, it seems that there is only this way. Having said that, Naruto suddenly got up and ran to the Hokage office building. Since the new home is very close to the Hokage building, Naruto quickly ran into the Hokage building. The Anbu ninja who was monitoring him was shocked. While sending a signal to the other Anbu ninjas in the village, he prayed that Naruto was just coming to play a prank and would not do anything big. However, the prayers of this Anbu ninja are obviously useless. When Naruto came to Hokage's office, he saw that seal book placed in the center of the room. His eyes lit up and he picked it up and left. The Anbu ninja who was monitoring him was shocked and was about to show up to stop him, but was instantly blocked by the chakra chain that suddenly appeared next to him. At the last moment before he went into a coma, he saw only a touch of red hair. Naruto nodded silently to Shadow Clone, and then ran to the forest in the northwest corner before the arrival of the other Anbu ninjas. Shadow Clone looked at the 2 Hokage guards and an Anbu ninja who were unconscious in front of him, and smiled triumphantly. He was able to deal with these 3 elite ninjas, not how powerful his strength, but purely relying on the proficient level adamantine sealing chains technique to attack the unsuspecting 3. If it is a head-on confrontation, or if the 3 of them are defensive, he is definitely not the opponent of these 3. The reason why he did not kill the 3 is because he is not a bloodthirsty person, and the other is to deliberately mislead 3rd generation, stating that the back-to-back will not kill innocent people indiscriminately and will not take extreme actions as a last resort. Otherwise, 3rd Hokage is likely to be angry and force Naruto to be imprisoned at the root. This is not in line with Naruto's original intention, but will be self-defeating by killing these 3 people. It was not until a few minutes later that other Anbu ninjas in the village discovered the abnormality here, quickly alerted and notified 3rd Hokage. At this time, Naruto Shadow Clone had long since disappeared. 3rd Hokage learned the ins and outs of the matter by asking the 3 who had awakened. While resisting his anger, he gathered a large number of ninjas to search for Naruto and the fleeing Uzumaki clan ninjas, while looking for Naruto through the crystal ball. As for the sand sculpture Mizuki, 3rd Hokage has not captured it for the time being, because 3rd Hokage wants to know what Mizuki is going to do, and whether there is anyone else behind him. At this time, Naruto had already arrived in the forest in the northwest corner, sat down in front of a wooden hut calmly, opened the Book of Seals and looked at it pretentiously. Soon, he felt that he was being watched, and the source should be 3rd Hokage's crystal ball. He immediately pretended to be distressed, scratching his head and learning how to practice multiple shadow clone techniques. 10 minutes later, Iruka rushed over, panting, and bent over to look at him with gritted teeth. "Hey, Naruto." Naruto raised his head, as if he had just discovered him, scratched his head embarrassedly, and smiled awkwardly. "Oh, I didn't expect to be found by you so quickly. I just learned multiple shadow clone techniques. Now I use them to show you. You will let me graduate, right?" Iruka was taken aback, looked at him in surprise and asked, Who told you that you can graduate like this?" "Ms. Mizuki, let me steal this scroll and wait for him here." With big innocent eyes open, Naruto looked up at Iruka, sensing the sand sculpture Mizuki who had just arrived. "What?" Iruka was shocked, realizing that something was wrong, and immediately turned around and became vigilant. Whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, dozens of kunai trees shot at Iruka and Naruto from the trees not far away. Iruka pushed Naruto away and resisted kunai's attack alone. In a blink of an eye, several kunai stabbed him. It can only be said that the skills of sand sculpture Mizuki are the same as his name, sand sculpture and water. At such a close distance, only a few kunai shot Iruka, and none of them hit the point. The remaining kunai traced a border around Iruka's body and inserted it into the wooden house wall behind him. I, Uzumaki Naruto, I would like to call you the strongest stroke ninja. Naruto held back a smile and thought to the sand sculpture Mizuki on the branch. Naruto, give me the Book of Seal. Sand sculpture Mizuki smiled triumphantly, and ordered Naruto. What is going on? Naruto asked with a dazed expression. Naruto, you can't hand over the Book of Seal, Iruka gasped next to him, that's a dangerous thing that records forbidden ninjutsu. Mizuki used you to get it. Nani, what? Naruto promptly expressed doubts and anger. Naruto, Iruka said that because he was afraid that you would get the Book of Seals. Shadiao Mizuki began to bewilder himself again. Ha ha ha, let me tell you the truth, Naruto. After something 12 years ago, Third Hokage made certain rules. What's the rule? Naruto asked suspiciously. That is a special rule that only prevents Naruto from letting you know a certain secret. Mizuki continued. Only me. Why? Naruto opened his eyes wide, pretending to be unbelievable. Shut up, Mizuki. Iruka stopped loudly. Because that is the rule that you can never be said that you are a demon fox. Mizuki looked at Naruto and continued. In other words, you killed Iruka's parents and destroyed the village's nine-tails demon fox. Nani? Naruto's eyes widened and his face was shocked. This time Naruto wasn't exactly pretending, he was really shocked by the insidious regulations of Third Hokage. In his previous life, he didn't notice this detail, but guessed that Third Hokage was responsible for the abuse of Naruto by the villagers. But now, it's a real hammer. Third Hokage did this to let everyone know that Naruto is a demon fox. You old coin. Gone your family. Thanks to your usual amiable appearance, in fact, you are the real fox. Naruto pretended to be sad, shocked, and resentful, like the upper body of the actor, and like an abandoned deep wife woman, turning around like running away. The sand sculpture Mizuki who wants to catch up and Iruka who doesn't know what to say are left behind. At the same time, in Hokage's office, Third Hokage was watching this scene through the crystal ball like a witch. He frowned and cursed. Mizuki, I told Naruto all these things. I hope Naruto won't think too much. As he said, he continued to observe Naruto who ran away with the crystal ball, focusing on the changes in his expression. At this time, Naruto felt that his face was going to be stiff, and it was tiring to blend multiple expressions on his face for a long time. He didn't stop until the Konoha village wall in front of him, hiding behind a tree, actually waiting for Iruka and Mizuki to catch him. Soon, Iruka also ran nearby, injured in multiple places, and sat weakly on the ground. Mizuki chased after panting, looked around, but didn't find Naruto's shadow, and then angrily cursed Iruka. You fool, you are so good to Naruto, what can you get? HMPH, anyway, I won't let Book of Seal fall into the hands of you idiot. Iruka snorted coldly. You are an idiot, Mizuki retorted, the purpose of Naruto's demon fox is the same as mine. As long as you learn the forbidden technique inside, you can do whatever you want. Even if Naruto is a demon fox, Iruka said with disdain, and then smiled on his face, but he is now a student I recognize. He is actually very hardworking and excellent, but he has not been discovered by others. When Iruka said this, he remembered the astringent technique that Naruto had used to him. So, to me, he is not a demon fox at all, but Uzumaki Naruto, my student. Uzumaki Naruto, Iruka shouted to Mizuki. An incredibly dark color appeared on Mizuki's face. And Naruto, who was hiding nearby, was really moved when he heard the words. Such a teacher, placed on the blue star of the previous life, can move the whole world. Thinking of crossing into this world alone, but still being able to be like Naruto in the original book, when he meets someone who recognizes and cares about himself like this, he only feels warm in his heart and tears in his eyes unconsciously. At the same time, in Hokage's office, Third Hokage looked at this scene with satisfaction and nodded. Iruka deserves to be a good teacher who spread the will of fire. From now on, it is not necessary to imprison Naruto to the root. Let him be a little more fettered in reality, and he can be better controlled. Isn't this what I have been trying to do for 12 years? Quote. In the forest, Mizuki couldn't understand what Iruka was talking about. He impatiently drew a huge wind demon shuriken from behind and slammed it at Iruka. Iruka sat weakly on the ground, smiling bitterly, closing his eyes and waiting for death. Suddenly, Naruto rushed from nearby and kicked Mizuki away. Both Iruka and Mizuki showed unbelievable expressions on their faces. Sand sculpture. Don't move, Mr. Iruka. Naruto pretended to look at Mizuki with a grim expression. After all, he no longer gives the other party a chance to talk nonsense. Now he has to show his fetters to Mr. Iruka and show his abilities. Boom 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 boom. Naruto made a seal on both hands, and suddenly, hundreds of shadow clones stood around, surrounding the water and wood. Seeing this, Mizuki panicked and became a little overwhelmed, while Iruka smiled shocked and relieved. Hundreds of shadow clone lined up, one person and 1 foot, going straight to the 2 vital points of Mizuki's head and neck. Soon, Mizuki was on the spot. In this way, no one would know that at first it was Mizuki who Naruto took the initiative to look for. Whenever the villain is killed, there seems to be sunshine. This time is no exception. Of course, it may be because of the dawn in the morning. Ms. Iruka, can I open my eyes? Naruto asked Iruka in front of him. Okay, open your eyes and have a look, Iruka said with a smile. Naruto touched the object on his forehead pretending to be curious, and immediately understood. Congratulations on your graduation, Naruto, Iruka Sunshine said to Naruto. At this moment, Naruto was relieved when he saw the task completion message prompted by the system in his mind. Immediately 5 points of true affection, 5 points falsely hugged Iruka, and 1 cheered in excitement. At the same time, inside Hokage's office, Third Hokage nodded and looked at the scene in the crystal ball with satisfaction, thought for a while, and said to himself. Follow the previous plan and let Naruto enter the team after graduation. In addition, the ladder of the Uzumaki clan still needs to continue to look for it. From the perspective of her way of doing things, I am afraid it is just for Naruto to fight the injustice. She also hopes that Naruto will graduate successfully and be treated normally in the village. In the early morning, the sun flooded the entire Konoha village. But Naruto's mood is not sunny. In the past 2 days, almost everything I experienced was walking a tightrope on the cliff. If I was not careful, I would fall off the cliff and die. Because of this, Naruto now has the heart to become stronger for the first time. Only by becoming a strong one can you have the right to determine your own destiny. Rather than being slaughtered as it is now. Fortunately, the first wave of danger has passed, and it will be stable for a period of time. He must seize the opportunity to seize the time to practice. Now, after quickly eating a fresh breakfast, Naruto hurriedly headed to the photo studio next to the Hokage building. He was going to take a photo of his ID to keep in the ninja profile. Then, he hurried to the Hokage building with his ID photo. I think he sneaked in secretly last night, but now he walked in as an official ninja. Destiny is really a wonderful dog thing. Fate selection system even more so. Naruto walked, recalling the plot in the original book. Next, he will meet Konohamaru, another prince, and the other party will worship himself as the boss because of his use of astringent technique. For Konohamaru, the current Naruto doesn't feel sick or cares about it, but is just a spoiled kid. But thinking of Third Hokage's abuse of him, Naruto decided to use Konohamaru to disgust Third Hokage, and take a little revenge. Therefore, Naruto deliberately took a special ID photo, which has a good reason to use astringent technique on Third Hokage. Looking down at the photo of the alternative ID in his hand, he couldn't help but recall the youth that could not bear to look back in his previous life, haha. Naruto, what are you taking this photo? In the meeting room, Third Hokage frowned and threw Naruto's ID photo on the table. Naruto immediately made an unhappy expression, and said, hey, old man, this is a look that took a lot of effort to play with. In fact, he used transformation technique when taking pictures, not really modeling himself. Hey, how come your hair is standing up? what's the matter with the gold chain on your neck and the gold ring on your hands? Third Hokage rubbed his eyebrows and asked. Naruto has liked to use maverick pranks to attract people's attention since he was a child. Although he was bored, he didn't stop it. Naruto curled his lips and said disdainfully, "This is called killing the Mat family. You are out, old man." Third Hokage resisted the boredom, and said helplessly, "Take it away and retake one." Naruto immediately pretended to be dissatisfied with a little temper, and stared at each other with Third Hokage. Astringent, lure technique. After Naruto sensed Konohamaru's approach, he checked the time and immediately used his assassin. This is Naruto's unique ninjutsu that has gone deep into the women's bathhouse for many years, and after careful observation, he has reached the full level. As an old driver who often used a crystal ball to peep at, Third Hokage stared at the transformed Naruto for a while. He immediately bleeds from his nostrils and is embarrassed. Seeing this, Konohamaru, who was hiding outside the door, immediately launched a sneak attack on Third Hokage, and then tripped to the ground by his collar. Konohamaru's home teacher, Ebisu, the glasses man, chased up from behind and smiled awkwardly at Third Hokage. When he spotted Naruto in the meeting room, his face was full of contempt and disdain. Naruto's perception was very keen, and he subconsciously frowned when he saw it, and involuntarily showed killing intent in his eyes. But he was shocked immediately, realizing that Third Hokage was still nearby, and immediately turned his head to look at Konohamaru. Yugwang glanced at Third Hokage, but just saw the other party's gloomy eyes looking at him. Naruto's heart beat suddenly and suddenly, feeling uneasy in his heart, lest he would be exposed, which caused Third Hokage's questioning and further surveillance. Fortunately, at this time Konohamaru leaned in front of Naruto, pointed to his nose and asked confidently, "Did you play any tricks on me and make me trip?" Naruto had an idea, and immediately grabbed Konohamaru's collar and cursed with an angry expression, "Idiot, obviously you tripped yourself." Ebisu, the man with glasses, yelled at Naruto, "Don't let go. He is the grandson of Lord Third Hokage." Konohamaru's expression became more arrogant when he heard the words. Naruto sneered and punched Konohamaru on the head without hesitation. The grandson was the one who beat. After playing Konohamaru, Naruto didn't hesitate to turn around and jumped from the window, not daring to look at Third Hokage's face again. 5 minutes later, he walked slowly down the street, waiting for Konohamaru to chase him, while pondering the next plan to become stronger. Now he can't wait to become stronger, so as not to live under pervasive surveillance all day long, not only to wear a hypocritical mask but also to watch other people's faces carefully. At present, his biggest reliance is the fate selection system. Although it only appears when important things happen, the rewards are indeed generous, giving him a good foundation and strong potential. When upgrading scroll appears next time, you can consider strengthening your combat power, such as that not getting started flying thunder god technique he learned from Book of Seal yesterday. In terms of ordinary ninjutsu, he really wants to learn Rasengan now, but there must be a reason, otherwise he can't explain it to others. His chakra attribute is undoubtedly the wind attribute. You can ask him when you meet Kakashi after the division tomorrow. After all, Kakashi is known as a copy ninja, and he must have a lot of wind-style ninjutsu. In terms of illusion, I am really not very good at it, and there is no related talent in the original work, but I can learn from the young Sakura how to recognize and crack common illusions. Young Sakura is still quite talented in this regard. In terms of physical skills, Kakashi is good, but he is more willing to learn from Might Guy. Even if he can't learn 8 inner gates, he can still have more experience in physical training. While Naruto was thinking about this, Konohamaru was already behind him. The corners of his mouth rose unconsciously, and then disappeared immediately. "Hey, I want you to be your eldest brother. How about the astringent technique that you taught me to defeat Grandpa Hokage?" Konohamaru asked with his left hand akimbo and right pointing to Naruto. Naruto pretended to think about it, and said with a smirk at Konohamaru, "Want to learn? I teach you, but you have to listen to me completely." "Yes, brother." Konohamaru nodded without hesitation. Well, the first step in learning my ninjutsu is to go deep into behind the enemy and observe enemy's situation carefully. As Naruto said, he kidnapped Konohamaru to the largest female bathhouse in the village, and finally taught him. Remember, next, I will teach you a 8-character motto. there is a code in your eyes, but there is no code in your heart. After speaking, Naruto turned into a beautiful purple-haired girl in clothes, and Konohamaru became a fat little girl. Of course, the clothes on their bodies will naturally change into women's clothing, so that they won't be exposed. Naruto triumphantly pulled Konohamaru into the women's bathhouse, and thought to himself, third generation, now, I want to sow an interesting seed in your grandson's heart. Naruto took Konohamaru into the, behind the enemy line, to observe for an hour, and after taking a shower, he dragged Konohamaru away, who was already immobile. The two of them had just arrived in the small woods, preparing for the next step of cultivation, and Ebisu, the man with glasses, found it here. He stood on the branch, looking down at Naruto condescendingly. Although wearing sunglasses, the contempt in his face was not concealed, and he whispered, "Asshole demon fox." Naruto's perception is already very keen. He naturally noticed Ebisu's attitude towards him, and he couldn't help but think of what happened in the past 2 days. The fat boss bullied him and died. Dog-face Anbu Ninja insulted him and died. Shadiao Mizuki looked friendly and despised him, and died. Now, there is another Ebisu. Why should everyone do this to me? Third Hokage, Ebisu. Naruto cursed in his heart, looked at the opponent coldly, and asked involuntarily, "If I were stronger than you, would you still treat me like this?" "Ah, what did you say?" Ebisu thought he had heard it wrong, and looked at Naruto amusedly. "I mean, if I beat you, would you still dare to treat me like this?" Naruto asked, gritted his teeth. "Huh, demon fox." Ebisu snorted coldly, ignored Naruto's question, turned his head and said to Konohamaru, "Little young master, let's go, you are so distinguished, how can you be with this kind of idiot who only knows ninjutsu? Over time, you will become an idiot." Gone. Multiple shadow clone techniques. When Naruto heard the words, his face changed, and he immediately screamed, and his hands were sealed. Suddenly, hundreds of shadow clone densely surrounded Ebisu. "Yeah, does the idiot demon fox want to beat me with this flashy ninjutsu? What a naive idiot." As Ebisu said, Jayan with both hands was about to use ninjutsu. A stringent, seductive technique. Hundreds of shadow clones shouted at the same time, only to hear the puffs of smoke appear. Hundreds of uncensored beauties of various shapes scratched their heads at Ebisu. What? Ebisu couldn't withstand such a big impact, and his nose was bleeding, his mind was confused. Konohamaru next to him looked fascinated, and the child had been completely skewed by Naruto. And third Hokage, who was peeping here with a crystal ball, coughed with a guilty conscience, looked around, took out a pink handkerchief and wiped his nosebleeds. How could Naruto give up such a good opportunity? 100 uncensored beauties kicked Ebisu to pass out. Finally, Naruto stepped forward with a sneer, picked up Ebisu's sunglasses, and put them on his face. "Hey, this equipment is good, it can block your eyes." Naruto thought with a smile, and then led Konohamaru out of here. Naruto returned home and thought carefully about the next plan. Until the next morning, going to the school to attend the graduation orientation meeting is actually graduation sorting. From today, it will be the starting point for him to become stronger. In his plan, Sasuke, Kakashi and others will all be his help. When Naruto arrived in the class, it was still early, and there were only a few people in the class. Seeing that Sasuke was eating rice balls, he walked straight over and smiled at Sasuke. "Sasuke, next we are going to perform the mission and be a real ninja. People who did well in school before will not necessarily be the same in the future." Sasuke glanced at Naruto disdainfully and said, "You, the tail of a crane, dare to speak such big words. Although I used to be the tail of a crane, my dream is actually to be a strong man," Naruto said, suddenly approaching Sasuke, and whispered, "Make sure that I will not be slaughtered by anyone in the future. Of course, I will help. You take revenge." Sasuke turned his head abruptly, looked at Naruto incredulously, and subconsciously asked, "How are you?" "Shish." Naruto pointed his appetite to him and whispered, "How is it? How about helping each other and getting stronger each other in the future?" Naruto continued. Sasuke is a lever for him to become stronger, so he wants to do Sasuke's job. Sasuke regained his cold expression and looked at Naruto with distrust in his eyes, and asked with a sneer, "How do you want to help and how to become stronger?" Then exercise together every day and share my training experience and ninjutsu. Naruto said with a smile, and he was going to see him soon. Haha, do you have any experience you can share with me? Sasuke asked Naruto jokingly. Kill Mizuki-sensei and defeat Konohamaru's tutor Ebisu. I wonder if these two record experiences count. Naruto looked at each other defiantly. Oh, by the way, Konohamaru is the grandson of 3rd Hokage. You can understand the level of his tutor. Naruto continued happily and said, as long as you agree, I can teach you the secret ninjutsu to kill them, and I will take you to the heaven and earth. Huh, it sounds nice, what do you want from me? Sasuke wasn't a fool either, he immediately asked the most critical question. I heard that your family has a lot of ninjutsu scrolls. Naruto said with a smile. That's right, what Naruto is after is Uchiha's important legacy. That's it, Sasuke sneered, then turned his head away, but I don't believe you are a crane tail. If you don't believe it, let's go out and fight now. Naruto continued. Sasuke ignored Naruto, finished the rice ball, got up and walked to the toilet. He felt that talking to the tail of a crane like Naruto was a waste of time. With this free time, it's better to practice Jain. Naruto looked at Sasuke's back, flipped through Byakugan, and after a few thoughts, he followed Sasuke all the way to the toilet. Now, he was going to plug Sasuke into the toilet and punch him so hard that the other person would believe him. Multiple shadow clone techniques. Naruto snorted, and suddenly, the entire men's room was filled with Naruto's shadow clone. Sasuke looked at this scene with some surprise, and suddenly felt that he couldn't urinate anymore. Sasuke, just ask if you are afraid. A dozen Naruto shouted in the toilet at the same time. I'm gonna, Sasuke said with a stiff expression. Just when he wanted to spit out fire-style ninjutsu, Naruto, who was full of the toilet, knocked me to the ground. 5 minutes later, Naruto came out of the men's room wearing sunglasses and swaggered ahead. Behind him was Sasuke with a depressed expression and disheveled clothes. At this moment, wearing sunglasses on his face, he felt that he was missing a machete in his hand, and the theme song of Young and Dangerous popped out of his mind unconsciously. Amazing situation, I am going to arbitrarily, admired by all. Well, I don't need to look back. Turning the sky over, I will write my own law. The rookie king who had been overturning the tail of the crane for 6 years, Naruto really wanted to yell in second place. When autumn comes on September 8th, I will kill 100 flowers after the flowers bloom. It's cool to flip Sasuke dry, I am the king of sunglasses from now on. Sasuke sat on the seat with a blue face, and Naruto sat beside him, ready to discuss with him the specific training plan in the future. I mainly want to ask Sasuke, when will I show him all the scrolls of ninjutsu in the legacy of the Uchiha clan? At this moment, 2 beautiful girls, one from the left and the other, broke into the classroom yelling. When they saw Sasuke, they ran over immediately and were about to show their courtesy in front of Sasuke. When Naruto saw little Sakura, his eyes lit up, thinking how to let little Sakura teach herself how to recognize illusion. Little Sakura, Naruto said hello with a smile. Go away. Little Sakura suddenly grabbed Naruto by the collar and was about to drag him into the aisle. Naruto's face changed and he wanted to fight back, but he immediately noticed a sense of peeping, which was a familiar crystal ball from 3rd Hokage. Gone. Naruto was so frustrated that she could only let little Sakura throw herself into the aisle, pretending to be dumbfounded on the surface. What no one has noticed is that the eyes under his sunglasses look at little Sakura with an unusually cold expression. This is not just for the little Sakura, but also for 3rd Hokage, as well as the aggrieved and resentful one's current situation. The desire to become stronger in his heart rose again. Morning. Good morning, Sasuke. Little Sakura stood in front of Sasuke, holding her heart in both hands, and said blushingly, "Can I sit next to you?" Sasuke turned his head slightly, looked at Naruto who was sitting on the ground, and frowned slightly. His neck was hurt by Naruto's kick just now, and it hurts right now. Seeing that Sakura took the lead, Ino also wanted to sit next to Sasuke, and immediately fought with her, and the other girls were not outdone. Seeing this, Sasuke quietly rubbed the abdomen that was just kicked by Naruto, frowned and snorted, "I'm so annoying. Hee, I don't seem to be the only dog licking." Naruto looked at little Sakura and sneered. A smirk appeared at the corner of Naruto's mouth, and then he jumped onto the table in front of little Sakura, looking at her with serious eyes. Little Sakura was taken aback, and a little nervously wanted to retreat, but behind her was surrounded by girls, unable to retreat, so she could only stare at Naruto, who was nearby. If Sasuke did this, she would close her eyes without hesitation, and then bring her mouth closer, but the boy in front of her was Naruto, who she hated. Naruto glanced at Ino next to him, and Ino immediately understood that his eyes were evil, and he snapped a picture of Naruto's back. Mwah! Naruto got his wish and kissed Sakura's peach mouth, and at the same time gave Ino a thumbs up behind his back. Good job, Ino. Little Sakura was messed up, her brain was in a mess, and she almost fainted. She never thought that her first kiss would be given to the person she hated the most. Naruto, I'm going to kill you. Little Sakura peach mouth fled from Naruto, clenched his hands, bursting out with 1000% strength, and slammed his fists at Naruto with the momentum of a Pegasus meteor fist. Naruto laughed, and quickly avoided Sasuke, pushing the unsuspecting Sasuke in the direction of little Sakura. Sasuke subconsciously resisted, but Naruto clasped his arms tightly. Seeing this, little Sakura quickly regained her senses, and wanted to stop her fist movements, but she couldn't control it at all. Boom! Sasuke's head was smashed to the ground. The entire classroom calmed down in an instant, and all the students looked at the bewildered little Sakura incredulously. I'm sorry Sasuke-kun, little Sakura said palely. Sasuke raised his head with an ugly face. He glanced at Sakura in disgust, then looked at Naruto behind him angrily. 10 minutes ago, his neck hurt from Naruto's beating in the toilet, and it hurts even more now. Soon, with the arrival of teacher Iruka, the class immediately calmed down. Naruto sits on the right of Sasuke, and Sakura sits on the right of Naruto crying. Congratulations, you are the only ninjas from today. Iruka smiled and said to the students in the classroom, but you are just novice genin, the real hard work has just begun. Having said that, Iruka glanced at Naruto and continued, from now on, you will be in groups of 3, and you will form a class, and you will perform tasks next to a teacher Jonin. Hearing this, the students in the classroom were surprised. Naruto also looked surprised and curious. A group of 3, Sasuke murmured, and then turned to look at Naruto next to him. He always felt that Naruto seemed to have known about it a long time ago, and he probably knew more. Little Sakura secretly turned her head to the left, and automatically skipped Naruto to look at Sasuke, her face flushed, and she thought in her heart. First of all, you must be with Sasuke, and second, you must not be with the annoying Naruto. Okay, now I'll start to announce the grouping situation. Iruka smiled, took out the registration manual in his hand, and read out one by one, starting from the first group and continuing to the 7th group. The 7th group, Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura. Little Sakura heard this, feeling like a concubine, drooping in frustration. Naruto was already prepared, and immediately cheered when she heard the name of little Sakura. Iruka shook his head helplessly, and continued, there is still Uchiha Sasuke in the 7th group. Yeah, little Sakura, who was downcast, immediately became elated. And Naruto wasn't frustrated, just turned his head and shook his fist at Sasuke. Sasuke gritted his teeth and looked at Naruto. Okay, Iruka clapped his hands after reading all the assignments. Your leader Jonin will come over in the afternoon. Let's move around freely during this time. At the end of the division, the surveillance from 3rd Hokage disappeared. Naruto was relieved and turned to look at the back of the classroom. He felt that he had been looking at him with a gaze, and he was unwilling to show keen perception just now, so he had been patient and didn't look back. Only now he has a chance. It turned out to be little Hinata. Naruto smiled. He naturally has a good impression of the girl who loves her unswervingly in the original book, and the future child. Hi, Hinata. Naruto turned his head and greeted her. Little Hinata immediately looked like an apple and a quail, and buried his head under the table. Well, Hinata, you can be really shy. Naruto smiled helplessly, ready to get up and walk over. So he opened his mouth and was about to say to the little Sakura sitting on his right, let me pass. Little Sakura misunderstood him, thinking that Naruto was going to strike up a conversation with herself. Her face changed, and she frowned impatiently and said, Naruto, although we are assigned to the same class, don't hinder Sasuke and me. Naruto raised his brows when he heard the words, and said amusedly, I am not the me I used to be, so don't take yourself too seriously. We don't know who is holding back. Let's take a look. What are you talking about? Little Sakura asked Byakugan, turning over. Naruto ignored her and jumped over from the table and walked towards Hinata. In fact, the little Sakura is not bad, but Sasuke is the only one in her heart. No matter what Sasuke does, defecting, killing or destroying the world, she doesn't care. And no matter how good Naruto performs, she will not be taken seriously by her. Of course, if only this is the case, the current Naruto will not be so tit for tat with her. The point is that in the original book, when little Sakura needs Naruto, he will shout, Naruto, where are you? Go and help Sasuke. But when little Sakura doesn't need Naruto, where Naruto is, whether it is alive or dead, has nothing to do with her. From this point of view, little Sakura seems a bit fool, which is one of the reasons why Naruto hates little Sakura now. Hinata, why are you looking at me secretly? Naruto sat on the opposite side of Hinata with a smiley face, and said to her. If you like to look at me, then you can look straight in front of me. I'm not that stingy. Hinata lowered her head and pinched her fingers, and couldn't say a word. Oh, okay. Naruto didn't know how to adjust for the time being. He taught Hinata, so he could only sigh and turn to leave. He had more important things to do. He returned to Sasuke and said to Sasuke, how do you think about the things I told you before? It just so happens that we are going to form a team together in the future, so why don't we start working hard to become stronger together from today? Sasuke thought about it for a while with a cold face, then looked at Naruto and said, we have to fight one more time. Just don't count. Hehe, Naruto smiled, it seems that you are very unconvinced that I beat you just now. Let's go to the training ground this time. The two soon came to the school's training ground. Because it was already off, no one except the students in their graduation grade would come to the school. And their graduating classmates are also looking for a place to eat. Therefore, there was no one around the entire training ground. But when Naruto and Sasuke came here, little Sakura found that Sasuke was not in the classroom, so she came over, stood by the training field, and shouted to Sasuke. Come on, Sasuke-kun, knock down Naruto and let this crane know how good you are. Naruto heard the words and turned over. Byakugan said to Sasuke, Sasuke, there are outsiders present this time, you have to behave well. After speaking, he folded his hands together, and one shadow clone appeared around him, rushing towards Sasuke densely. HMPH. This is another trick, I won't be defenseless against you anymore. Sasuke snorted coldly, immediately knotted his hands and breathed in. Fire-style great fireball technique. Suddenly, a huge fireball rushed towards Naruto. Ha, are you insulting me, Sasuke? You actually used this kind of ninjutsu on me that can't beat people. While talking, Naruto used multiple shadow clones as human ladders, stepped on them and jumped into the air, rushing to Sasuke condescendingly. Sasuke snorted coldly, raised his head, and the fireball in his mouth continued to spray upwards, directly covering the Naruto in midair. Unfortunately, that is just Naruto's shadow clone. At this moment, several shadow clone copied to Sasuke from the sides and back bred. Sasuke, be careful, little Sakura in the distance reminded loudly. Ha, nasty guy. Naruto snorted coldly. Originally, Sasuke was focusing on raising his head to breathe fire, without paying attention to the sides and rear. Naruto's tactics were about to succeed, but they failed because of Sakura. Bang bang bang. Sasuke burned the Naruto shadow clone on both sides with great fireball, then ended the fire style, turned around and kicked the other shadow clone behind. Sasuke, watch out for it. Little Sakura reminded again in the distance. Sasuke was shocked when he heard the words and looked up. At some point, two more, Naruto, fell from a high altitude and were about to kick him on the head. Sasuke evaded quickly, frowned and looked at the two, Naruto, that landed in front of him, and quickly looked around for a week to confirm that there were no other shadow clone around. Sasuke, even if there is a reminder from Sakura, you still can't beat me. Naruto said to him with a sneer. After hearing the words, Sasuke really felt the humiliation, and turned to the little Sakura in the distance and said coldly, "Get out." Little Sakura was startled, her expression frozen, and she was at a loss. Multiple shadow clone techniques. Naruto put his hands together again, and dozens of shadow clone rushed towards Sasuke. Sasuke frowned, knotted his hands again, opened his mouth, and then another great fireball rushed toward the shadow clone. "Sasuke-kun, be careful behind." Little Sakura's voice came again. Sasuke was extremely bored, but he thought he was not a fool. Although he was tired of little Sakura's reminder, he wouldn't really not look back. So, Sasuke really became a fool. Because there is nothing behind him. The little Sakura's reminder just now was completely pretended by Naruto. Sasuke realized that it was too late to go on board, and several shadow clone jumped on it and bound him firmly. "You lost. This is the second time, Sasuke." Naruto disarmed the shadow clone and said with a smile while looking at Sasuke. Humph. 2 defeats by the tail of the crane that he had always looked down upon was really hard for him to accept, not to mention that the outsider Sakura was watching, which made him feel embarrassed. Sasuke turned around and left. When she passed by little Sakura, he gave her a cold look, making little Sakura, who was about to say something, his eyes flushed suddenly and she burst into tears. Ding dong. Long-term achievement mission. 7 defeats Sasuke released. Reward. Mystery and unknown. Ding dong. This task does not require the host to make a choice. As long as the task is completed, you can receive rewards. 7 defeats Sasuke. Isn't it the same as Zhuge Liang's 7 captures of Mango? Naruto frowned and murmured, "There are mysterious rewards. I like mystery the most, haha." When Naruto left the training ground with great enthusiasm, she also passed by the crying little Sakura of Iwa with rain. She couldn't help feeling softened and comforted. "Little Sakura, You are the fool I hate." Little Sakura shouted hoarsely to Naruto in front of him. "You crane tail, why did you imitate my voice to deceive Sasuke? Now he must hate me. You can only use conspiracy to defeat Sasuke. Fool, crane tail." After all, little Sakura turned around and left, looking at the direction he should have gone after Sasuke. "Gone. Are you sick?" Naruto yelled at little Sakura angrily, "You lick the dog." Naruto left the training ground out of breath. He was in a good mood after defeating Sasuke and receiving a long-term mission. Now, it's all gone. After lunch, the students returned to the classroom again. Naruto ran in panting and got to the seat. Just now, he had been running on the training ground to exercise his physical fitness. Although Uzumaki's Sage Body has reached level 3, it only enhances cell activity and the amount of chakra in the body, and does not increase his physical endurance and strength. "Sasuke, how are you thinking about it? Let's work hard together to become stronger, and wait for me to help you get revenge together in the future." Naruto wiped the sweat from his head and asked while sitting next to Sasuke. Sasuke still had a cold face and didn't say anything. He felt that if he said yes now, it would be as if he had agreed because he was defeated by Naruto. This is something he absolutely cannot tolerate. "Well, you think about it, maybe you will agree when I beat you next time." Naruto flipped over Byakugan and said helplessly. Sasuke snorted when he heard the words, and his face was ugly. Soon, Jonin, the leader of each class, walked in and led the small group of 3 people away. Hinata got up and walked out after seeing Yurihong coming in to roll the call. When passing by Naruto, she said like a mosquito, "Naruto-kun, you have to come on." "Hinata, your voice is too small." Naruto smiled and raised his head, suddenly grabbing Hinata's little hand, and said, "But I heard it all. You have to work hard so that you can catch up with me." Yeah, Hinata found that after Naruto had grabbed her little hand, she was about to faint, and finally tried to break free and ran out with red skin all over her body. Yurihong watched this scene amusedly, and couldn't help but think of her and Asuma's lush years. Hinata's score is third only to Sasuke-kun and me in our class. Do you let your family catch up with you? Do you also be a crane tail? Little Sakura's voice came from behind, with unabashed contempt. Hey, has anyone told you that you really hate you, wide forehead? Naruto turned his head and responded sarcastically. Wide forehead, but the characteristic nickname of little Sakura. Naruto looked at little Sakura with boredom in her heart and said, little Sakura, if you think I still like you, then you are very wrong. Stop being narcissistic and wake up. Little Sakura turned her head to look at him, and said mercilessly. Then I will tell you, Naruto, I hated you from a long time ago. You always do inexplicable things and always get in the way of me and Sasuke-kun. Don't worry, it won't happen in the future. Naruto sneered, then looked down from the rooftop. There, Hinata has just finished her first meeting with Jonin and is heading home. Naruto had already sensed this. Hi, Hinata. Naruto jumped off the roof and suddenly appeared in front of Hinata. Ah, you, hello, Naruto. Hinata, who was walking intently, was suddenly startled by Naruto who had fallen in front of him from the sky. Then, she raised her head and looked at the 20-meter-high rooftop, thinking that Naruto had jumped down from it, and her face immediately showed concern and asked with concern. Naruto, Naruto-kun, are you okay? Seeing her delicate and cute look, Naruto's heart suddenly felt so soft. This is my real heroine, this is the woman who loves herself and is worthy of protecting her for life. Naruto sighed as he looked at his future child. I'm fine, are you going home? Naruto asked Hinata. Yeah, Hinata replied shyly and nervously with her two small hands tangled together. We are going to train, will you be with me? Naruto put his head in front of Hinata and asked with a smile. Huh, Hinata raised her head blindly, and looked at Naruto who put her face in front of her. The deer in her heart was about to rush out, and she was a little at a loss as to how to answer. At this moment, a tall man in a kimono walked in the distance and shouted to Hinata, Hinata, we are going home. Oh, okay, my father. Hinata hurriedly responded when he heard his father's call, blushing, and ran forward with her head down. Naruto squinted at the man in the distance, who turned out to be his future old father-in-law, Hyuga Hiyashi. Hinata, eat more and get bigger soon. Naruto looked at Hinata's figure and shouted loudly with a smile. Seeing the old father-in-law's glaring eyes, he immediately changed his words. It's wrong, it means to grow up soon. Haha, the training field of the ninja school. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were standing under 3 big trees, and Iruka was standing in front of the 3. Naruto, it seems that you are very hardworking. Just after graduation, I wanted to hurry up and train. Iruka said to Naruto with satisfaction. Yes, Mr. Iruka, my dream is to become Hokage. I think Grandpa 3rd Hokage is too old to walk. I want to replace him soon. Naruto joked with a smirk. Naruto, you really are. Iruka shook her head speechlessly, and continued. Since you come to me, then I will give you the last class. Back then, my first training after graduation was to step on trees. This is the basis for the official ninja to be a master. There was joy on Naruto's face. He called Iruka for this reason. In fact, he knew how to train, but he didn't know how to do it for no reason. Ms. Iruka, how exactly do you step on a tree? You can demonstrate to us first. Naruto pretended to be impatient. I'm optimistic. Iruka made a simple chakra gathering mudra on both hands. First of all, gather chakra under both feet and control chakra's output. With that said, Iruka walked slowly, step by step along the trunk to the branches. Wow, Mr. Iruka, you are amazing. Little Sakura looked at Iruka and called out in surprise. Although Sasuke didn't speak, his eyes were full of envy and eagerness. Naruto pursed her lips, her expression full of eagerness. Okay, you can try it first. Iruka jumped from the tree and said to the 3 Naruto with a smile. The 3 Naruto chose a big tree, took a deep breath, gathered chakra on the soles of their feet, following the way of Mr. Iruka, and then raised their feet to take the first step towards the trunk. Boom! Sasuke fell off the trunk first, and he didn't even take the second step. Boom! Naruto fell off the trunk second, but he had already taken 9 steps, only 1 step away from the top of the tree. Yeah, little Sakura came out loudly. It turned out that she had succeeded once before reaching the top of the tree. She waved to Sasuke happily, wanting to let Sasuke see her excellent performance. But Sasuke saw that she was showing off to herself, snorted coldly, and rushed towards the trunk again. The key to stepping on a tree lies in the fine control of chakra, Naruto mused. The super chakra control ability that the system rewards me is only beginner level, and at this time, the little Sakura may have reached the level of Shaocheng, so she can do it once. Thinking of this, Naruto smiled, held his breath again, gathered chakra under his feet, raised his left foot, stepped on the tree trunk, and then his right foot. Step by step, when Naruto was one step away from the top of the tree, when he was about to raise his right foot and step on the top of the tree, his left foot was unstable and lost its absorption to the trunk, and his body fell out of control. Boom! Naruto was caught by Iruka and grinned at him. Ms. Iruka, believe it or not, I will be able to reach the top of the tree for the third time. Iruka smiled slightly. Come on, Naruto. But in fact, he didn't believe it in his heart. What was Naruto's performance in the 6 years at school? He knew too well, but if Naruto can really do it, can he be a crane tail? Cut. Sasuke snorted after hearing it next to him. Obviously he didn't believe it. Naruto, the tail of the crane. Hey, Naruto turned to look at Sasuke, and said defiantly, let's make a bet. If I can step on the top of the tree next time, it would be equivalent to defeating you again. How? Ha, Sasuke said angrily when he was mentioned the pain, bet. Haha, Sasuke, you are ready to surrender again. After Naruto finished speaking, he concentrated again, and with the help of super chakra control, the chakra on the soles of the feet was carefully mastered to a suitable degree. The first step, the second step, the third step, the ninth step, step 10, boom, Sasuke fell down again, looking surprised at Naruto who was standing on the top of the tree, blushing. He didn't expect that he would lose again and never beat Naruto again. And even the little Sakura that I have always hated can't match it. Why does this make him such a genius? Affectionate. Ding dong. Long-term achievement mission. 7 defeats Sasuke. Completion. 37. Please host keep up. Naruto listened to the system's prompts, looked down at Sasuke under the tree, pinched his waist with both hands, and laughed. Iruka looked at Naruto in surprise and satisfaction, with a gentle smile on his face. Little Sakura stood on the top of the next big tree, looked at Naruto next to him in surprise, and fell down accidentally. Until the sun went down, Sasuke still failed to step on the top of the tree, which took a serious blow to his self-esteem. In the original book, Sasuke and Naruto worked together for a long time while performing missions in Nami country. But now it's different. Now Naruto has become a stronger attacker, so he started this kind of basic training early. As for the little Sakura, she has this talent, but unfortunately it will not be fully discovered until Tsunade becomes Hokage. Sasuke-kun, I'll go home first. Little Sakura looked at Sasuke embarrassedly. If you don't go home, Mom will be angry. Sasuke gasped and ignored her. Little Sakura sighed, hesitated, and walked back 3 steps. Haha, Sasuke, are you okay? I'm almost exhausted. Naruto's voice came from a distance. I saw him running along the outer wall of the teaching building to the top of the building, then jumped down to the big tree next to him. Then, between the tops of the trees, he jumped from far to near and landed next to Sasuke. Sasuke, come on, after the drill is over tomorrow, how about going to your house and showing me the ninjutsu scroll? Naruto patted Sasuke on the shoulder and said. He said this to Sasuke this morning. Sasuke hesitated for a moment, looked around no one, hesitatingly said, yes, but you want to tell me what is the trick to stepping on the tree? Do you want to learn? I teach you. Also, Sasuke, don't you mind if I pick you up? Little Sakura was walking on the way home, recalling a few things she had experienced today, and Naruto's figure flashed through her mind. From when he defeated Sasuke with hundreds of shadow clone on the training ground, to stepping on the top of the tree so fast just now. Have I really blamed Naruto for the past few years? Actually, Naruto is not a fool, but just doesn't like reading. Little Sakura thought involuntarily. Thinking of Sasuke's indifference to herself, she sighed and involuntarily got onto the bench by the roadside. This is a secluded path in the school, and every time she comes here, she will feel at ease in her heart. What the hell should I do to make Sasuke like me? Fortunately, don't worry, I will stay on the same team with Sasuke in the future. Little Sakura. At this time, a magnetic voice came from behind. Little Sakura's heart suffocated suddenly, and immediately looked back, and saw Sasuke leaning against the tree trunk, holding a handful of red flowers in his hand, looking at her affectionately. Wow! Little Sakura suddenly held her heart with both hands, and put all the worries in her heart behind her, and looked back blushingly. Sasuke walked up to her, sat down, and took her little hand. Her chest suddenly hit like a deer. Sasuke-kun, are you here to confess to me? Little Sakura said excitedly and expectantly. All kinds of daydreams came to mind. Thinking about it, she couldn't help closing her eyes and bringing her mouth closer to Sasuke. Seeing this, Sasuke showed a sly smile on his face. Can he ignore the kiss like this? In the original book, he missed this opportunity because he drank expired milk and caused diarrhea. Now he will not. Think of it as fulfilling Naruto's dream in the original book. Moreover, Naruto in the original book licked the dog for so long, and now it is not too much to charge a little interest, right? Besides, didn't the little Sakura always want to do this with Sasuke? He also happened to fulfill the dream of little Sakura. Until half an hour later. Sasuke, can't, I really have to leave, otherwise my mother will find me all over the village. Little Sakura reluctantly said to Sasuke. Well, okay. Sasuke tidied up little Sakura's stray hair, and said softly. Little Sakura, starting from tomorrow, I will still be ignorant of you, but that's just my appearance and personality. Huh, little Sakura looked at Sasuke curiously. I am now Naruto's little brother. He is very strong and handsome than me, so I have to be colder and look like I am very strong. Sasuke-kun, you, little Sakura was even more puzzled. Shish, don't talk, don't bother me. Wait for me to find you in private. Sasuke plugged little Sakura's mouth and continued. Remember, in front of others, you must never mention today's things. As soon as she said this, little Sakura retched, swallowed, and nodded blushing. How could she tell others about such a shameful thing today? Little Sakura covered her flushed face and ran away shyly. Sasuke stared at her back, licked the smell of Sakura flower on her lips, took a deep breath and walked home. After that, with a bang, Sasuke released the transformation technique and returned to Naruto's appearance. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for completing the special task. Female host task, special rewards, skill upgrade scroll, bloodline upgrade scroll, 1. After Naruto saw the special reward, his eyes suddenly lit up, bloodline upgrade scroll and skill upgrade scroll. Both are good things. He first looked at his personal panel. Host, Uzumaki Naruto, male with sunglasses. Age, 12 years old. Strength, Genin. Chakra attributes, wind, water, soil, gifted by Sage Body. Bloodline, Uzumaki Sage Body, level 3. Deidara Explosion Style Blood Succession Limit, level 1. Skill, Uzumaki Family Sage Body with skills proficient, huge amount of chakra, adamantine sealing chains, Kagura Hard Eye, physical healing, sealing talent. Deidara Explosion Style Blood Succession Boundary Skills Introduction, Clay Ants. Multiple Shadow Clone Technique proficient. Transformation Technique superior. Clone Technique proficient. Super Chakra Control beginner. Flying Thunder God Technique not started. Impure World Reincarnation no entry. Tandem Paper Bombs not started. Dark Line Technique not getting started. Senju Hashirama Wood Style Ninjutsu not started. Senju Tobarama Water Style Ninjutsu not started. It can be seen from the personal panel that he currently has 2 bloodlines, level 3 Uzumaki Sage Body, and level 1 Deidara Explosion Style Blood Succession Boundary. Looking at these 2 bloodlines, Naruto was lost in thought. The latter helped him create 2 explosions. The advantage is that it has excellent attack power and air superiority, the disadvantage is that it cannot be used in an open manner, at least not currently. The former is a super assist. The advantage is that the supplementary skills are also very good, but the disadvantage is that it can't greatly increase the combat power, and it can't be exposed. But the former has a huge benefit for him, as long as he is upgraded by 1 level, he can reach level 4. Also, God level bloodline. God level blood. Naruto took a breath and continued thinking, there should be a qualitative change. System, use bloodline upgrade scroll for Uzumaki Sage Body. Chapter 11. Ding Dong. Congratulations to the host for acquiring God Bloodline Uzumaki Sage Body. Ding Dong. Huge amount of chakra, adamantine sealing chains, Kagura Mind Eyes, physical healing, seal skill talent. These 5 skills have all been promoted to the superior transformation level. As the system prompt ended, Naruto immediately noticed that his chakra volume had doubled. If it were to be measured and compared, it should be 30 times that of Kakashi chakra. Kagura Shinyen's perception range reached a terrifying 100 kilometers. The ability to hide chakra is pervert. Adamantine sealing chains as a powerful gift, and Naruto stretched out his right hand, a golden chain appeared in his hand, and then suddenly disappeared. He could feel the power of the seal contained in it, twice as much as before, and it was obvious that this chakra chain was more flexible, and he could hold it in his hand as an unintended weapon. The promotion of seal skill talent reached the extreme, and the most obvious manifestation was that he had instantly comprehended the Flying Thunder God technique that he had seen on Book of Sealing before. I saw Naruto quietly picked up a pen and drew a mysterious symbol on the paper. From the outside, it looked like a Chinese character, Fei. This is the Flying Thunder God imprint that belongs to Naruto alone. When he wrote the 10th time, he suddenly put down his pen and put his right hand on the desktop. Suddenly, the same Flying Thunder God mark appeared on the desktop, and he could only perceive it. At this time, he looked at the system personal panel again, and the proficiency of the Flying Thunder God technique in it had risen from no entry to entry and finally to Xiaocheng. In a blink of an eye, Naruto mastered the stunt of his father Namikaze Minato. Although his proficiency was not as good as that, it was enough for the current Naruto. For him who hasn't been able to reveal his true abilities, Flying Thunder God technique's biggest role is to save his life and travel inside and outside Konoha village. Just wait for him to perform the mission of the Nation of Waves. As for physical cure, Naruto slashed his hand with kunai, and the muscle was cut open, revealing the pale bones. 1, 2, 3. Naruto counted lightly, and after 3 seconds, the wound healed automatically, as good as ever. I just don't know if I can reach the level of Wolverine, or try to put Kuwu in his head. Naruto secretly shook his head, or better not die. On the whole, the ability of God-level Bloodline is indeed very pervert. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for having the first God-level Bloodline, and once again rewarded a Bloodline upgrade scroll. All go. Naruto exclaimed excitedly, the system is really great. Do you love you? When he first had the system once again rewarded him with a skill upgrade scroll just because he had the transformation technique of the superior level. So when I have a second superior level skill, what will the system reward me? Naruto looked at the skill upgrading scroll he had just obtained, and thought greedily. System, use skill upgrade scroll on multiple shadow clone technique. Multi-shadow clone technique's current proficiency is proficient level, and one level up will become superior level. After waiting for a long time, and didn't get the prompt from the system, Naruto was a little disappointed and regretted his impulse. Oh, forget it, Naruto sighed. In the original book, I used multiple shadow clone techniques and the ability to rub balls for a long time. Facts have proved that as long as the tactics are appropriate, even multiple shadow clone techniques can exert great power. Furthermore, all superb skills are very extraordinary. Naruto felt so relieved when he thought about it. Seeing his thoughts moved, the whole room was filled with dense shadow clones. Now, when he uses multiple shadow clone techniques, the connection seal is omitted, and in his perception, if he does not carefully understand it, it is difficult to distinguish the difference between the main body and the shadow clone. I am afraid that in the future, except for Byakugan, because other perception ninjas will not be able to distinguish the true from the false Naruto. Transformation technique. He thought about it again. Using the same superb skill, the shadow clone that filled the room suddenly disappeared, but there were more tables, chairs and ordinary daily necessities in the room. His eyes lit up, and he was a little excited. This is a great combination for sneak attack on the enemy. Sure enough, there is no most useless skill, only the most useless master. After calming down, Naruto looked at the Bloodline upgrade scroll that he had just obtained. Uzumaki clan sage body has risen to the top, and now he only has the bloodline of Deidara explosion-style blood succession boundary. It has been analyzed before that this bloodline cannot be exposed yet, and it can only be used to make some elusive sneak attacks. It feels like using such a precious scroll on it is a bit of a waste. So Naruto decided to keep this scroll for future use. He finally looked at his personal panel again. Host: Uzumaki Naruto, male with sunglasses. Age: 12 years old. Strength: Genin. Chakra attributes: wind, water, soil gifted by Sage Body. Bloodline. Sage Body of the Uzumaki clan, level 4, God level bloodline. Deidara explosion style blood succession limit, level 1. Skill. Uzumaki clan Sage Body with skills, superior, huge amount of chakra, adamantine sealing chains, Kagura hard eye, physical healing, sealing talent. Deidara explosion style blood succession boundary skills, introduction, clay ants. Multiple shadow clone technique, excellent. Transformation technique, superior. Clone technique, super chakra control, beginner. Flying thunder god technique, Xiaocheng. Impure world reincarnation, no entry. Tandem paper bombs, not started. Dark line technique, not getting started. Senju Hashirama wood style ninjutsu, not started. Senju Tobarama water style ninjutsu, not started. Thing. Bloodline upgrade scroll, 1. Among them, the transformation technique has reached the level of superb proficiency as the proficiency of multiple shadow clone techniques has increased. It's indeed much stronger than before. Naruto thought with satisfaction. He had greater hopes of improving his next aggrieved situation. At the same time, little Sakura ran home. Her mother asked angrily, "Little Sakura, where did you die? Why did you come home so late?" "Today the teacher taught us to train to step on trees," little Sakura said breathlessly. Little Sakura's mother looked at her daughter, and when she saw her tired legs unable to move, she nodded believing it was true, and then asked with concern, "Then come and eat." "No, Mom, I was full just now," little Sakura said as she ran down to the bathroom upstairs. At less than 5 o'clock in the morning of the next day, Naruto got up and packed up, put on a handsome new suit, and came to the training ground that Kakashi said yesterday. Although he knew that Kakashi would play with them, he still decided to wake up so early, just to pass on time and give Kakashi a good performance, hoping that the other party can teach himself alone. "OHA yo. Good morning." Little Sakura walked from a distance with sleepy eyes and greeted the figure in front of him. When he realized that the person in front of him was Sasuke, he immediately came to his senses, looked down at his toes with a blushing face, twisted and said nothing. Sasuke glanced at her inexplicably, then stopped caring. Naruto was sweating profusely and ran over panting. After showing inexplicable smiles at Sasuke and Sakura, he continued to run around the training ground. In fact, even if he didn't say that the 5 o'clock assembly is ready today, he will still get up earlier, just to strengthen his daily training. Becoming stronger is not just talking about it, nor can it be completely dependent on the system. You have to start from yourself and make a little progress every day. Sasuke didn't look good either. He trained until half Yoruichi last night before finally stepping on the top of the tree. Now he has only slept for 4 hours, and his energy is exhausted. But when he saw that Naruto was so diligent, he immediately became energetic, training physical skills on the stake next to him, and at the same time in his heart, he finally agreed to Naruto's cooperation. Naruto saw that Sasuke's physical training was completely different from what was taught in school, and he was more eager for the ninjutsu scroll left by the Uchiha clan and Kakashi's separate guidance. "Next, I will perform better and try to grab the bell to let Kakashi see my excellence. In this way, he will definitely be willing to guide me alone." Naruto thought so, and his feet moved faster. However, it was not until the sun was high that Kakashi arrived late. At this time, the stomachs of Sasuke and little Sakura were groaning with hunger. Only Naruto had breakfast in the morning, and secretly ate a few rice balls during self-training. "OHA yo, everyone." Kakashi greeted Naruto with his right eye drooping. "It's too slow," little Sakura said dissatisfied. "That's because a black cat is passing through my eyes," Kakashi Bibi reluctantly explained. Seeing everyone's disbelief, he coughed to cover up his embarrassment and placed an alarm clock on the wooden stake in the center of the training ground. "I set the alarm clock at 12 o'clock, Kakashi said as he took out 2 more bells. "Your mission for today's exercise is to grab them. Those who haven't grabbed them are not allowed to eat, and they will be tied to the stake and watch the other 2 eat." "Nani?" the 3 asked in amazement, Naruto pretending to be surprised, Nani's voice loudest. "Cuckoo." Sasuke and little Sakura's stomachs cried out with hunger. Only then did the 2 of them know Kakashi's purpose for not letting them eat breakfast. "But why are there only 2 bells?" Little Sakura then reacted and asked. Because of this, at least one person will be tied to a stake and sent back to school because the mission failed. Kakashi continued with a smile. You can use the shuriken, because without the determination to kill me, it's impossible to grab a bell. The expressions of the three Naruto's hearts changed, and they all became serious. Ready, go. As soon as Kakashi's voice fell, the three of them ran around and disappeared. Before that, Naruto was still carrying his school bag, and did not put it down. Sasuke, we need to cooperate. Naruto and Sasuke whispered while hiding in the bushes. Little Sakura, we need to cooperate. Sasuke and little Sakura hid in the grass and whispered. As an elite Jonin, Kakashi didn't care about the three of them. Instead, he stood not far away from where the three of them was hiding, and took a look at Intimate Paradise with a carefree look. This is the humiliation and contempt of Kyle. Suddenly, Sasuke held a Wind Demon Shuriken and threw it at Kakashi not far away. Wind Demon Shuriken Shadow Windmill. Woo! The huge Wind Demon Shuriken flew in front of Kakashi at great speed, splitting him into two parts with one blow. But obviously Kakashi used the body replacement technique and completely avoided and hid around. The moment Sasuke and Naruto were next to him were exposed at the moment they threw the shuriken of the Wind Demon. They immediately moved to the direction of little Sakura, and continued to hide in horns with little Sakura. In fact, Kakashi has always known where they are hiding. It is not that Kakashi has the ability to perceive, but for an experienced elite like him, Jonin, the hiding method of the three Naruto is relatively poor. So now Kakashi took the initiative to walk around them again, just to lure them to attack and teach them a lesson. Naruto nodded to Sasuke, so the next second, a wind demon attacked Kakashi again. At the same time, he rushed out of the hiding place, and in an instant, dozens of shadow clone were picked up, and Sasuke finished throwing the wind demon shuriken and followed closely behind. This time, Kakashi didn't use body replacement technique anymore. Instead, he dodged the Wind Demon Shuriken first, and then used body skills to fight these shadow clones. This is what Naruto hopes to see. However, Naruto's physique was too poor. Shadow clone was kicked and exploded one by Kakashi, and disappeared, leaving only a cloud of smoke around Kakashi, gradually obscuring Kakashi's sight. Seeing this, Kakashi couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Illusion. At this time, a Naruto shadow clone had quietly approached Kakashi, and suddenly launched an illusion attack on him. Kakashi appeared to be absent for a moment, and his movement stopped. It's now. Another Naruto shadow clone suddenly rushed in front of Kakashi, holding kunai in his hand, and launched a fierce physical attack on Kakashi. Bang bang bang. Kakashi came back to his senses, still holding the Intimate Paradise in his left hand, and kunai in his right hand to resist the physical attack. But immediately he discovered something was wrong, because the Naruto shadow clone's physical skills were a bit powerful. As a result, he had to put away the Intimate Paradise, use both hands together, and seriously fight the shadow clone in front of him, and slowly he was led to a side position. At this moment, under his feet, the Wind Demon Shuriken that Sasuke threw out just now was inserted. However, no matter how powerful this Naruto shadow clone's physical skills are, it is not Kakashi's opponent at all. After more than a dozen moves, he was kicked out, and then became Sasuke with a bang. It turned out that Sasuke used transformation technique to become Naruto. Similarly, another Naruto shadow clone that uses illusion on Kakashi is naturally made by Sakura. It's now. Sasuke and little Sakura shouted at the same time. Boom! The Wind Demon Shuriken at Kakashi's feet suddenly changed to Naruto's appearance and rushed towards Kakashi. At the same time, Sasuke and Sakura also threw a large number of shurikens at Kakashi, not only at Kakashi, but also blocked the direction of escape around him. The shuriken throwing scores of the two of them are among the best in the school. For such a short distance, the throwing direction will not go wrong. Kakashi's fish bubble eyes finally widened, and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. This was the first time he encountered genin team that would cooperate with each other in the first place in so many years. But Kakashi is Kakashi after all. When he leaned his left arm back, he grabbed the back of Naruto's neck, which was leaping behind him, and turned it over in front of him. Then he held kunai in his right hand, and dinged the shurikens that had been shot. In the blink of an eye, Kakashi resolved the crisis and took control of the scene again. Humph! However, Naruto, who was captured, and Sasuke and Sakura in front of them, did not show a frustrated expression on their faces, but a smile of conspiracy was raised from the corners of their mouths. Not good. Kakashi's heart beat, and a bad premonition suddenly appeared in his heart. Boom! I saw the yellow backpack behind the captured Naruto suddenly turned into another Naruto with a bang. This is the real Naruto body. This is the real killer of Naruto, the previous battles are just foreshadowing. The yellow backpack that he had turned into was clinging to Kakashi's abdomen. Now, after he returned to his original appearance, he just moved his right hand forward quickly to hold the two bells around Kakashi's waist in his hands. Kakashi reacted in time, twisted his waist hard, and avoided Naruto's snatch with the bell. But a bell was already firmly held by Naruto. Kakashi just tore the rope, and the second bell tied to the same rope was thrown out. With a jingle, it happened to fall into the hands of little Sakura. Yeah, little Sakura jumped and jumped happily. Ding dong, Kakashi-sensei, have we completed the task? Standing in front of Kakashi, Naruto triumphantly swayed the bell in Kakashi's eyes, making the bell ring sweetly. Ha! Kakashi let out a deep breath weakly, and the fish eyes drooped again, but his eyes were filled with surprise when he looked at the three Naruto. For the first time in so many years, the newly graduated Genin team successfully grabbed the bell. This is really a Genin team like no other. Okay, Kakashi spread out his hands and said weakly, but your task is only half done. I said that there are only 2 bells here, but you have 3 of you. Only then did Sasuke and Sakura realize the seriousness of the problem, and looked at each other, then looked at Naruto. Naruto tilted his mouth. He knew Kakashi's purpose, but he was waiting for this moment. Acting, he has started to get used to it. Now, the 2 bells are in the hands of Naruto and Sakura, which means that Sasuke who did not get the bell will be eliminated and sent back to school. Naruto pretended to be extremely entangled in his heart, clenching his fists tightly, and wanted to give out the bell in his hand but was reluctant. Little Sakura also hesitated. For her, graduation is not the key. The key is to stay with Sasuke, but no matter whether she gives Sasuke the bell or not, the 2 of them will definitely not be together, so she sees to Naruto. Naruto, you. Little Sakura was interrupted just as she spoke. I quit. Sasuke gritted his teeth, clenching his fists. When he thought that his dream would be realized a year later, and that he would be humiliated and returned to school, his heart was cut like a knife. But what can I do otherwise? Like little Sakura thought, let Naruto give herself the bell. How can it be? Not to mention that they won't accept this food, just relying on Naruto's tactical plan and the snatch at the final critical moment, they succeeded in getting the bell. Now you let Naruto quit. Just as Sasuke lowered his head and turned to leave, Naruto suddenly returned the bell in his hand to Kakashi. In the surprised eyes of others, he laughed and said, Ms. Kakashi, Sasuke, Sakura and I were originally a trio. If we want to quit, we just quit together. Here, you. Sasuke looked at Naruto and was dumbfounded. For the first time, he felt that the tail of the crane in front of him was like that. Wei Yamato was selfless. At this moment, his cold heart was moved. He decided, and after returning home for a while, he would show all the ninjutsu scrolls in the family to Naruto. Little Sakura also looked at Naruto in surprise. For the first time, she felt that Naruto was not that annoying. Now Naruto, wearing a chic and handsome outfit, has defeated Sasuke one after another, and is still showing greater talent than Sasuke in the training of stepping on trees. What's more, the series of tactical plans just now, and the most crucial final act of snatching the bell, were all done by Naruto. Naruto may be really different, I might have really blamed him before. Little Sakura realized that for the first time she had a momentary heartbeat for Naruto in front of her, then she shook her head and secretly said, unfortunately, I have already been with Sasuke. Ms. Kakashi, let me quit too. Naruto is right. We are a trio, Sakura said, returning the second bell in his hand to Kakashi. Kakashi remained silent and watched this scene. Until now, he asked, who organized your cooperation tactics just now? Sasuke and Sakura looked at Naruto together. Naruto scratched his head embarrassedly and said, hey, I was just thinking about it, I didn't expect it to be successful. Kakashi's eyes were surprised again. Naruto's change was so great that it was a little bit beyond his expectations, but it was a bit in line with his previous personality that made all kinds of unexpected pranks. For example, his astringent temptation technique caused Master Third Generation to bleed too. Have you decided? Exit together. Kakashi stared at the three of them with a calm face and asked. Yes, when we graduate next year, we can continue to fulfill our respective dreams together. Naruto said indifferently. Both Sasuke and little Sakura kept their faces calm and did not speak. They had their own thoughts, but they represented their opinions. Oh, okay, since you all want to go back to school, then, Kakashi said here, his painting style changed, and he looked at the three with a smile. Congratulations, you successfully passed the exercise. Nani, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura looked at Kakashi unexpectedly at the same time. I said, you all successfully passed the drill. Kakashi narrowed his eyes and said, you are still the first team to pass in my hands. The previous guys were all idiots who only knew what I said. Ninja, just to be able to see through the plan. Kakashi looked up at the sun in the sky and the blue sky and white clouds, his eyes full of memories and indelible sadness, and his tone was full of nostalgia and firmly said. In the world of ninjas, it is waste that breaks the rules, but those who don't know how to cherish their companions are waste in waste. Naruto, who knows all the plot and the inside story, lowered his head and said nothing. A companion. Do I really have a companion? Sasuke pondered Kakashi's last words, looking thoughtfully at Naruto and Sakura next to him. Little Sakura doesn't care about this, she is happy now because she can continue to be with Sasuke again. Kakashi finally announced. Yoshi, now I announce, Class 7 will start the mission tomorrow. Ms. Kakashi. After the exercise, Naruto caught up with Kakashi again, looking at him expectantly. Ms. Kakashi, can you give me some guidance alone, such as retreat and physique? Now I can't even do a single retreat, and physique is also very poor. Kakashi turned his head, his right eye drooped, and looked at him helplessly, before slowly speaking, sorry, I don't have time. Naruto looked suffocated, and immediately said, or I will delay you for 5 minutes and teach me an escape technique. I am very talented. Kakashi scratched his head, looked up at the white clouds in the sky, hesitated for a minute, then said. Well, but I didn't bring the chakra test paper today. I still don't know your chakra attributes. I don't know what kind of escape technique to teach you. Naruto opened his mouth to say that he has the 3 attributes of terroir, soil and water. The sage body of the Uzumaki clan gave him the attributes of soil and water, but he stopped immediately, and he didn't know how to explain it. Seeing him speechless, Kakashi turned and continued walking forward, waving his hand and saying, next time. Ms. Kakashi, haven't you seen my efforts? I have been training myself since the morning. Naruto became a little excited and asked Kakashi aloud. Well, just this morning's training, what can it say? What have you been doing in the past few years? Kakashi asked, turning his head, drooping his right fisheye. Naruto clenched his fists, and when he heard the other party say the previous years, he felt a little weak and a little angry. He wanted to roar but didn't dare, because not far away was the Anbu ninja watching him. I can only think aggrieved in my heart. Because of the previous 10 years, that Naruto has been struggling to survive, and has produced the absurd idea of making others identify with him in a prank way. And what are you doing, Kakashi? Since you know that Naruto didn't work hard, why don't you give me some advice? Because of what? Because there is nothing you can do. When your father committed suicide, you were powerless. When your good friend Obito died, you were powerless. When Yaharalin, who had a crush on you, died, you were powerless. When your teacher's orphan was struggling to survive, you were also powerless. Now, I ask you to instruct me alone, you are not willing. Kakashi, what can you do? Naruto had thousands of words in her heart, but she couldn't speak it out. An orange-red chakra gradually appeared on his body, and a sense of evil began to appear. Kakashi suddenly turned his head to stare at Naruto, and the hidden Anbu ninja had to show up, standing behind Naruto, and took out a piece of talisman to stick it on his back. This talisman has the effect of sealing chakra and evil. Although it is not powerful and temporary, it is enough to delay the arrival of third Hokage. At this moment, the god bloodline and Uzumaki sage body in Naruto's body suddenly came into play. There was a sage body that suppressed the tail beast. At this moment, it was 9 that overflowed Naruto's body. Tail's chakra suppressed it. Naruto also woke up immediately. He was stunned for a moment, and immediately understood what he had just experienced, and a cold sweat came out with lingering fears. But the next moment his heart cooled down again, and he looked blankly at Kakashi, who was staring at him nervously in the distance, and the Anbu ninja behind him, turning his head down and leaving. No one in this world can rely on it. Only by relying on oneself can you gain the power to determine your destiny. Naruto's heart is cold, but his mind is clear. Kakashi's attitude has made him more aware of the nature of people in this world, and everyone is living for themselves. Maybe in a corner there is still the brilliance of humanity and the touching friendship, but will Naruto have these? Throughout the entire original work, there are only 2 people who really care about Naruto. One is Mr. Iruka, who has given Naruto the perfect care beyond teachers and students. Many people think that if there is no Iruka, Naruto would be like Obito and Black and would have 2 opinions. The second one is Hinata. Although Hinata has never been obvious due to her character, she will silently support Naruto behind her back and will work hard to become stronger for Naruto. As for Sasuke, his Isshin was busy with revenge, but Naruto cared for him too much. As for Jiraiya, what has he been doing for 12 years? If it weren't for Naruto, it might be the son of prophecy. Would Jiraiya look at him more than Naruto? In this life, apart from Mr. Iruka and Hinata, there will be no third person worthy of my contribution. Companion. How Anbu Ninja reported to 3rd generation that he was almost out of control. Naruto didn't care, and 3rd generation did not come to him later. He now wants Isshin to become stronger, and he is looking at a dozen ninjutsu scrolls at Sasuke's house. After the Uchiha clan is destroyed, it is inevitable to be ransacked. Thousands of years of inheritance and countless accumulation of ninjutsu, most of them are in the hands of Konoha or individual families. But Sasuke still got a little bit left over, that is, the scrolls in front of him. However, considering the reasons why you don't want Sasuke to be too powerful, these scrolls record only C-level and D-level escape techniques, physical skills and illusions, which are low-level and not very powerful. But for the current Naruto, these are like treasures in the snow. Here, this is chakra test paper. Sasuke handed a thin piece of paper to Naruto, just enter chakra in it. Thank you. Naruto took it and tested it out according to Yan. Although his chakra attributes have been shown in the personal panel of the system, if he wants to use the escape technique openly, the current process is inevitable. With the input of chakra, the test paper was first wetted by water, then split from the middle, and finally all shredded into pieces and fell on the ground. Water, wind, soil. Naruto, you actually have 3 chakra attributes. Sasuke looked at Naruto with a little surprise. The more chakra attributes, the more the master's ability to escape, and relatively speaking, the stronger the strength. Naruto scratched his head embarrassedly. Small operation, don't shout so loudly. The escape scroll is here, you can watch it for yourself. After Sasuke finished speaking, he went to practice on his own. He felt a great deal of pressure from Naruto, and felt that if he didn't work harder, he would never be able to surpass Naruto. Like a treasure, Naruto put all 3 scrolls of Feng, earth, and water in front of him and looked carefully. This is the first time he has learned the escape technique. Apart from asking Sasuke on Jia he has to understand everything on his own. I think he didn't have the master's escape techniques in the original work, so he relied on the rubbing balls, shadow clone, and Shanshu to the later stage, but now he has to study the escape techniques seriously. Thinking about it, it is a little incredible. It can only be said that Naruto's desire to become stronger is too urgent, and he is not willing to develop his own strength completely according to the original plot. After all, he now has the fate selection system, and his strength will inevitably be stronger than in the original book. From the 2nd day, the 7th class of Naruto started to officially perform the task. However, as the newly built Genin team, their tasks are all D-class tasks, such as helping catch cats, finding dogs, sending letters and even weeding. Naruto always deliberately shows a reluctant and inactive look, and slackens, when performing these tasks. His lazy way is very unique, not sleeping or eating, but turning his hands constantly to practice Jain. The foundation of the predecessor was so bad that he must start from scratch now, but fortunately he has super clone, multiple shadow clone techniques. Moreover, his multiple shadow clone techniques have reached the level of superior transformation, which can be 10 kilometers away from the body and maintain it for a day. In this way, 2 months passed in a blink of an eye. Naruto, can't you be more serious? Little Sakura saw Naruto hide their mission goal, a big cat hiding under her feet, and said dissatisfied. Since the last bell snatching incident, Sakura's attitude towards Naruto has indeed changed, at least not as annoying as before, and has spoken outrageously. Explain here, since the current Naruto didn't do dog licking anymore and teased little Sakura several times, the relationship between the two was worse than in the original book before the bell robbery incident. This time, their task is to help Mrs. Damon catch the missing tabby cat. Now, they found and successfully captured the target, but since Naruto was practicing not printing with both hands, he could only step on the tabby cat with his feet. Who asked it to run in my direction? It asked for it, hehe. Naruto replied with a smile. While talking, Naruto didn't stop Jayen's hands either. Sasuke has always been calm, and Naruto's hard work has put him under great pressure, so his hands are also quietly practicing Jayen. But maybe he is thin-skinned, so he is not as blatant as Naruto. Kakashi has been observing Naruto. 2 months ago, Naruto almost broke out of Nine Tails chakra. It really shocked him. He really couldn't figure out why Naruto was like this. Later, he was called by Third Hokage and talked for a long time. The final conclusion was, Naruto was too eager to become stronger, so he was angry at Kakashi's refusal. But Naruto's performance is still too abnormal, so they need to continue to observe next. Moreover, they couldn't guarantee that Naruto would not get angry again, so they decided to help Naruto improve. Therefore, Third Hokage is choosing a suitable C-level task for the 7th class to experience Naruto. Mission Collection Hall. The 7th class handed over his mission goal to the daimyo, and completed the D-level mission this time. Anything else, Mrs. Kakashi? If not, I'll go for training first. Naruto pretended to be impatient and said. From the outside, Naruto's current performance is no different from his original character. If he starts to smile with a smirk, it will arouse the vigilance of Kakashi and Third Hokage. Third Hokage sat in the mission hall, and had been staring at Naruto since Naruto came in. He seldom comes to the mission hall at ordinary times. Now, not only did he come in person, but he also called Iruka over, and told Iruka about Naruto's actual situation a long time ago. Because, he will release a suitable C-level mission to Naruto today. Well, let me see, the next task of your 7th class is to help the elderly take care of the children at home, or to help plant sweet potatoes. Third Hokage calmly picked up a task list and said secretly from the corner of his eye. Naruto. After Naruto acquired the sage body of the Uzumaki family of god-level blood, his perception was already very strong. Yamato was keen, and he now perceives the presence of an old man outside the door. And this old man had waited until the afternoon since this morning, and he was not called here from the post station until their 7th class came to the mission hall. Obviously, it was for the 7th class, to be precise, it was for Naruto. Seeing Third Hokage in the act, Naruto also decided to accompany him in the act, because he must go to the country of Nami. Hey, don't do this kind of task anymore. I want to perform a more powerful task. Naruto yelled, putting his dissatisfaction on his face. Sasuke and Sakura next to them also nodded. You idiots, you are just fresh graduates. Everyone starts with the simplest task and accumulates experience. Iruka, who was next to Third Hokage, stood up suddenly and accused Naruto, but there was a look of worry on his face. He was worried that difficult tasks would pose a danger to Naruto and the others. And Third Hokage pulled down the Hokage cap, trying to cover the corners of his mouth. This is one of the reasons why he called Iruka, because Iruka is always so passionate and caring about Naruto. But, the tasks we performed are too boring. Naruto responded in a louder voice. Boom, you are enough. Kakashi received Third Hokage's wink and patted Naruto on the back of the head. Naruto, it seems I'm going to tell you the true meaning of the mission. Third Hokage took a breath of his pipe and spit out another smoke ring slowly and said. The task level is divided into Ababa Ababa, Ababa Ababa. Next, Naruto didn't listen to what third Hokage was talking about. It was nothing more than the preaching and the things he knew. When third Hokage was finished, Naruto pretended to be dissatisfied and said, "The old man always preached to me like this. I've grown up, and I'm not the kind of kid who can only play pranks that the old man always thought." Having said that, he turned around deliberately to breathe, and stopped paying attention to third Hokage. Third Hokage stared sharply at his every move, but smiled on the surface, and then said helplessly, Okay, since you said that, let's give you a C-level mission and let you protect someone." Huh, really? This was what Naruto was waiting for. The performance was about to come to Gao Si. He turned around excitedly, his eyes squinted happily, and asked, "Is it to protect the daimyo? Or the princess?" "Hee, neither," third Hokage smiled, "let me introduce this person to you." After all, third Hokage said in a deep voice into the waiting room, "Let him in." As soon as the voice fell, the door of the waiting room was pushed open, and a drunk, sloppy old man walked in with a wine bottle, and began to complain in the first sentence. "What? How come they are all kids?" After speaking, he took a few sips of alcohol recently, pretending to be utterly unbridled after drinking. Naruto looked at the old man and sneered in his heart, "Hey, another actor has appeared on the stage." After drinking, the old man leaned on the door frame and continued to say dissatisfied, especially the shortest one, "How does it look stupid? Are you really a ninja?" Naruto sneered in his heart, but turned his head to look suspicious on the surface. "Haha, who are you talking about? The shortest, the stupidest look." As soon as he finished speaking, Sasuke and little Sakura stood on either side of him. It was obvious who was the shortest. Naruto was immediately furious, and was about to beat the old man, but was stopped by Kakashi, and then gradually gave up, pretending to accept the task reluctantly. Afterwards, Naruto himself scored 99 points for this performance. 1 point less was for fear of being proud. "Oh, actor, the world owes me an Oscar." Because it was late, the 7th class decided to send the old drunk man on the road the next morning, and the few people went back to each house to find each mother. "Naruto, wait a minute." Naruto was walking down the street when Iruka's voice suddenly came from behind. He turned his head, looked at Iruka, smiled and said, "It's Mr. Iruka." "Naruto, where are you going?" Iruka stepped up and asked with a smile. "Eat, then go to training." Naruto replied, and he probably guessed Iruka's purpose. "Naruto, you really worked hard," Iruka praised, then looked at Naruto seriously and asked, "Are you still angry about Kakashi's behavior 2 months ago?" Naruto's mind turned sharply. He did not smile or pretend to be indifferent. Instead, he curled his lips like a child and replied, I am not angry with that teacher Kakashi." When Iruka saw Naruto like this, he let go of his heart. He taught Naruto for 6 years and was so familiar with Naruto. Naruto didn't care when he acted like this. "Then why are you always lazy when you follow Kakashi on missions?" Iruka continued. "Well, the main reason is that the task is too boring, and it will delay my training." Naruto grumbled, "But don't worry, Mr. Iruka, I will get serious next." That's good." Iruka touched Naruto's head and said, "Go, let's go eat ramen again. After eating, I will continue to guide you to practice." "Really, Mr. Iruka, you are the best to me." Naruto hugged Iruka happily and yelled. Now, his true temperament is revealed. Because Iruka is really kind to him, Iruka has sacrificed a lot of his time in the past 2 months to guide him in ninjutsu training. Although Iruka is only a chunin, he can easily guide Naruto with low-level escape, physical and illusion skills. Also because of Iruka's careful teaching, Naruto's strength has improved by leaps and bounds in the past 2 months. He has completely mastered the sea-level escape technique with the 3 attributes of earth, water and wind, as well as basic body techniques, illusions and ninja throwing techniques, and body replacement technique. And all reach the level of proficiency. Because every time he practices, he will use the superb multiple shadow clone techniques, and the huge amount of chakra given by the sage body of the Uzumaki clan of the god-level bloodline, 10 times. He practiced for 2 months, which is worth 8 years of practice for others. This speed is terrifying, so 2 months later, his strength reached Chunin's level, which was comparable to Iruka. If it weren't for his poor foundation, and the 6 years of ninja school career he learned too little, his strength would have reached the level of the elite Chunin. Now, the system shows that his personal panel is Host, Uzumaki Naruto, male with sunglasses. Age, 12 years old. Strength, Chunin. Chakra attributes, wind, water, soil, gifted by Sage Body. Bloodline, Sage Body of the Uzumaki clan, level 4, God level bloodline. Deidara explosion style blood succession limit, level 1. Skill, Uzumaki clan Sage Body with skills, superior, huge amount of chakra, adamantine sealing chains, Kagura hard eye, physical healing, sealing talent. Multiple shadow clone technique, transformation technique, clone technique, body replacement technique, super chakra control, flying thunder god technique. Sea level wind style ninjutsu, sea level earth style ninjutsu, sea level water style ninjutsu. Thing, bloodline upgrade scroll 1. In fact, there is not much sea level escape, and the power is not strong, but unfortunately, teacher Iruka's master has that. He wants to learn B level escape from Kakashi, but people are not willing to teach him. Moreover, if you are not always watched by Anbu ninjas, you will be spied by 3rd Hokage with a crystal ball from time to time, and his explosion-style ninjutsu and flying thunder god technique will be more proficient. Because of this, Naruto is more eager for the opportunity to go out to perform tasks. Fortunately, the mission of the Nation of Waves will be carried out tomorrow. At that time, when diving into the sea and diving out of the abyss, the freedom of Naruto will be greatly liberated. After eating eel ramen, Naruto came to the training ground again, but he did not let Mr. Iruka come over this time, because tonight, he was going to have a battle with Sasuke. The purpose is not only to verify his current strength, but also to complete the long-term mission, 7 defeats Sasuke, that the system previously released. During this period of time he has been challenging Sasuke, but was rejected by Sasuke. Only today, before the mission of the Namibia, Sasuke agreed. Sasuke, I have been waiting for this day for a long time, ha ha ha. Naruto looked at Sasuke and laughed. Humph, me too, this time, you will never beat me. Sasuke stood opposite Naruto coolly, and snorted coldly. 1. Physique. Naruto stopped talking nonsense, snorted softly, and rushed towards Sasuke with kunai in his hand. Immediately, he and Sasuke fought close to each other. Sasuke's physique is very strong and has been recognized by Kakashi, but after so long training for Naruto, his physique is not what it used to be. The two of them fought in the training ground for 100 rounds before they separated breathlessly. Naruto looked at each other with a grin. Physical skills, the two tied. Second, escape technique. As soon as Naruto's voice fell, Sasuke's hands were sealed, and a ball of flame came out from his mouth. Fire style great fireball technique. Water style water turbulence. Naruto was unwilling to show weakness. After his hands were sealed, a huge stream of water spouted from his mouth, directly extinguishing the great fireball. When the fire and water met, they quickly formed a white mist, blocking the sight of the two. Wind style great breakthrough. Naruto's knot printing is very fast. Just after the end of water style, his second ninjutsu has arrived. A whirlwind spouted from the mouth, blowing away the smoke, and headed straight towards Sasuke on the opposite side. Sasuke had long anticipated that Naruto would launch such an attack, so after using fire style, he had already started to dodge quickly to the side, making Naruto's wind style attack completely empty. Fire style Phoenix fire technique. Sasuke quickly ran to the left of Naruto, waiting for him to stand. The second fire style had been printed, and several fireballs went straight to Naruto. Naruto didn't seem to have time to react and was directly hit by the fireball, but the next moment it thumped and turned into a cloud of smoke. Obviously it was just his shadow clone. Sasuke frowned and ran to the side again. He had already experienced the difficulties of Naruto's shadow clone and had taken precautions. In addition to being vigilant, it is to keep exercising to avoid being attacked by Naruto using Earth style. Haha, Sasuke, look at my big move. Dozens of Naruto's voices sounded all around at the same time, and Sasuke looked around uncomfortably, and saw dozens of whirlwinds engulfing the water, like a high-speed rotating torrent, sweeping him from all directions. Wind style great breakthrough. Water style water turbulence. Dozens of shadow clone are set in pairs, using wind style and water style at the same time, forming a combined ninjutsu, encircling and attacking Sasuke with great momentum. Sasuke's face was hard to look at. What he worried the most was that Naruto besieged him with a huge amount of chakra and many shadow clones. He really can't figure out why Naruto has so much chakra. Unfortunately, the Uchiha clan is not good at chakra. Sasuke's mind turned to break the game, but now he only knows fire-style ninjutsu, not even body flicker technique. He can't resist and escape at all. He can only put his hands on his chest and prepare to grit his teeth. Earth-style Earth Dragon hidden technique. A sound came from not far away. Sasuke looked down and saw a mound bulging on the ground. From far to near, he came to his feet. Then he stretched out his hands from the soil and pulled him into the soil. Help him escape the attack. Sasuke, you have lost again. Haha. Ding dong. Long-term achievement mission. 7 defeats Sasuke. Completion. 47. Please keep up the host. The next morning, Naruto packed all his belongings and went to the Konoha gate to gather. His fighting equipment, kunai, shuriken and bingliang pill, were all prepared by Iruka for him. To be honest, he didn't know exactly what to prepare, so Iruka did it for him. For this gathering, Kakashi was rarely late. When he came to the gate of Konoha village, Kakashi and Sasuke Sakura, including the old drunk man, had just arrived. Naruto looked a little excited, because from now on, what he had planned for 2 months was finally going to be executed. This time the mission will get him out of trouble, because with the Flying Thunder God technique, he will leave a lot of Flying Thunder God marks on the road. In this way, he can no longer be confined to Konoha village, he can find a way to escape at any time, make trouble in the ninja world, make himself strong quickly, and completely master his own destiny, without having to look at other people's faces. He has had enough of Tenten's acting life. This will be a key step for him to become stronger, and he needs to find other subordinates or companions. This made him couldn't help but think that next time he would meet Mizuno Yubai in the country of Nami, as a few ice escape ninjas that exist in the world, Bai's ability is very precious. But judging from Bai's character, he is really not suitable for being a ninja. This made Naruto hesitate whether he should save Bai's death and bring Bai into his command. Ding dong. Mission released. Dealing with the life and death problems of Shui Wuyubai. 1. The Virgin's Choice. Bai is too pitiful, let Bai survive. Reward. There is a certain probability that Bai will be accepted as a subordinate. 2. Devil's Choice. Bai is too kind, not suitable for being a ninja and under the command of income, life and death have nothing to do with me. Reward. Special title Killing Heart. Killing Heart, you get system points for killing people, which can be exchanged for various bloodlines, skills, and items in the system mall, including those in the world and those released by the system. Naruto looked at the tasks released by the system and the rewards given by the 2 different choices. After only 3 seconds of contemplation, he made a choice. Compared to the current Naruto, Killing Heart and the system mall will accelerate him to become stronger and change the current predicament as soon as possible. As for Bai's life and death, it can only be resigned to his fate and his own destiny. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for making the choice, rewarding the special title Killing Heart and the system store opens. Kill a Genin level enemy, reward 1 point, kill a Chunin level enemy, reward 10 points, kill a Jonin level enemy, reward 100 points, kill a ninja level enemy the enemy, reward 1000 points. Naruto was overjoyed and couldn't wait to look at the system mall. Yin and Yang Escape, Otsutsuki Blood, Rinnegan. Impure World Reincarnation, Living Corpse Reincarnation, Puppet. Bloodline Upgrade Scroll, Skill Upgrade Scroll. Naruto looked dazzled and his heart surged, and Harazi couldn't help but flow out. Hey, is it really okay to ask this kid to go with you? The old drunkard pointed at Naruto and said dissatisfied. After hearing this, Naruto withdrew his mind from the system mall, turned around, looked at the old drunkard, and looked at Kakashi. If Kakashi was not present, he would definitely teach the other party a severe lesson, let him know what it means to respect people. You said that you are a person who intends to deceive and asks for us. What qualifications do you have to pick and choose and judge people by their appearance? Naruto glared at the old drunkard fiercely, turned his head, and ignored him. At the same time, He thought in his heart that if there is another time, he will definitely find a chance to teach the other party a profound lesson. The country of Poland is to the east of the country of fire, and the coast is a small and weak country composed of many islands. It is characterized by barrenness and occlusion and sparse population. Therefore, it is incredible to think that a businessman can control the lifeline of the entire country. The seventh group of people walked slowly to the country of waves. They wanted to go fast but couldn't, because there were 3 low-power genin including Naruto. Little Sakura seemed a little nervous along the way, asking questions about Kakashi, understanding the world and the tasks they were going to carry out. Don't worry, little Sakura, this is just a simple sea-level escort mission. There will be no ninjas from other countries, and no battle will happen. Kakashi comforted little Sakura. Naruto sneered in his heart when he heard it. In his perception, there were already 2 wandering ninjas lying in front of him. The old drunk man's expression changed a little, his eyes revealed guilty conscience and cunning. Soon, when they walked down a path in the forest, a water puddle that completely violated the peace aroused Kakashi's idea. The 2 assassinated ninjas in ambush are also really stupid. They left such a clear puddle on such a dry road, and it has not rained in recent days, but anyone with a little experience can find it unusual. Place. Woo. Sure enough, when the crowd in the 7th class had just passed the puddle, 2 figures suddenly emerged from the puddle, and they quickly wrapped the leader Kakashi with 2 hinges and then twisted it hard. Kakashi's body was cut into several segments. The first one, said 2 assassinated ninjas coolly. The attack of the 2 assassinated ninjas caught the remaining Sasuke, little Sakura, and the old drunk man by surprise, terrified. They turned their heads and looked, only to see that Kakashi was instantly killed by the enemy, and automatically made up for the scene of flying flesh and blood. Ah! Little Sakura couldn't help but yelled. The second one. The voices of 2 assassinating ninjas came from behind Naruto, and it was obvious that they had put the second target on Naruto. Ha! Naruto snorted coldly, and when the other hand's hinge touched his body, he also used the body replacement technique to avoid it. Little Sakura thought that Naruto was also killed, screamed again, and stood shaking in front of the old drunk man to prevent the enemy from stealing home. Sasuke frowned and was about to fight with the 2 assassinated ninjas. But in the next second, Naruto, who used the body replacement technique to evade, appeared not far from the 2 assassins, and his original position had changed into 3 pieces of wood, which made the 2 assassinated ninjas involuntarily froze. Wind-style palm of Gale. Naruto quickly sealed the seal, slapped both hands, a small whirlwind quickly rushed into the 2 assassinated ninjas who were stunned for a moment, blowing them directly to the big tree in the distance. The 2 slammed into the tree trunk, making 2 muffled noises, and then limply leaned against the tree trunk, looking at Naruto with horror in their eyes. In their eyes, Naruto is nothing more than a murderous kid. Unexpectedly, this kid is not as simple as it seems. Puff, puff. Seeing that the 2 were temporarily knocked down, Naruto took out 2 kunai and directly hit them in the throat, and decisively eliminated the lives of the 2 dragons. Ding dong. Congratulations to host for killing 2 genins and rewards 2 points. Naruto, you, little Sakura looked at Naruto in surprise. She didn't expect Naruto to be so powerful from her rookie perspective and to kill people so decisively. Ha, the pushy guy. Forcing the King Sasuke to turn his head, couldn't help but think of the scene where he was defeated by Naruto for the 4th time yesterday. Kakashi also walked out of the hiding place, looking at Naruto thoughtfully. There is also the old drunk man. His eyes revealed fear, and he did not expect that the little ghost who had been mocked by him many times along the way would actually kill people without blinking, just like the big businessman Cardo who made their entire country fear. By the way, Mr. Dazna, I have something to ask you. Kakashi looked at the old drunkard with an ugly expression. The opponent's face immediately turned pale, his eyes dodged around, and then pretended to be sad. Naruto did not pay attention to how the old drunkard explained what had deceived them, because he knew that Kakashi would let them go on to complete the task that had been upgraded to be level out of training their minds. He was looking at the system interface in his mind at this time. He had just killed 2 genin assassinated ninjas, which allowed him to earn 2 points. Enable him to exchange 20 detonating charms in the system mall. Although it's not much, but it's enough to use it at critical times. The method of earning points for killing people brought by the killing heart is indeed very useful. Soon, the 7th class went on the road again and headed towards the country of Poland. Naruto found an opportunity under a big tree, leaving a mark of flying thunder god hidden, and wrote a sentence in Chinese. Laozi is here for a visit. After another 2 hours, passing through the sea and the bridge covered by dense fog, Naruto and his team formally entered the territory of Namibia. The country of Poland is a country composed of many small islands, and they were spotted as soon as they set foot on the outer islands. There were 2 opponents, one Jonin and the other Chunin, which were clearly displayed in Naruto's super perception. It should be no more cut and white. When they had just walked into a small forest, a giant knife suddenly shot from not far away. "Be careful, get down," Kakashi yelled, and everyone immediately crouched on the ground, only to see a huge long knife, sticking to everyone's scalp, rotating into the trunk of the opposite tree. Then, a muscular ninja with a tall face wrapped in white gauze stood on the giant sword. Turning his back to them, posing a pose, looking back at Naruto and others coldly. "Oh, this isn't Kurigakure's betrayal, won't Momoji cut it again?" Kakashi looked at the other party and said, then he was about to lift the left blindfold and use Sharingan's power. "Oh, it turned out to be Sharingan Ninja Kakashi, why don't you leave this old man to me?" No longer looked at Kakashi and said coldly. Naturally, Kakashi couldn't agree, and the atmosphere immediately became tense. "Sasuke, little Sakura, Naruto, you put up a formation to protect Mr. Dazna, this guy is up to me," Kakashi commanded without cutting his head or looking back. The 3 Naruto immediately came to the old drunkard's side to protect her. Ninjutsu missed shinobi technique. Without jumping to the surface of the water, chakra was condensed, and immediately, the surrounding area was enveloped by a thick white mist. The battle is on the verge of breaking out. 8 places: larynx, spine, liver, lungs, carotid artery, subclavian artery, kidneys, heart. The sound of no longer cut came out of the thick fog, revealing horror. So, which one should I choose? Quote. No longer use threatening words, exuding murderous aura, exerting psychological pressure on everyone. Kakashi, who was not far in front of Naruto, suddenly burst out with a strong murderous intent, intertwined with the murderous intent of not cutting. But the sudden burst of murderous aura first frightened Naruto and Sasuke, making them tremble all over. It seems that I still have a long way to go from the strong. Naruto gritted his teeth to resist the murderous aura emanating from Kakashi, trying to calm himself down. He thought in his heart, maybe he will have such a strong murderous aura when he kills enough people with the heart of killing. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared behind Naruto, exuding a terrifying breath. Kakashi reacted for the first time, and came to this figure, holding Kuwu violently in the abdomen of the opponent, while Naruto and the others took advantage of the trend to avoid. But Kakashi only hit the water body that he never cut again. In the next second, another one appeared behind Kakashi without cutting it, holding a cleaver in his hand, and slashing at Kakashi's waist fiercely. "Ms. Kakashi, back," little Sakura reminded. With a swipe of the knife, Kakashi was cut in half, but there was no blood splashing. It turned out that the Kakashi in front of me was also a watery body. At the same time, Kakashi's body appeared behind this no longer cut his body and held kunai on the opponent's neck. "It's over," Kakashi said coolly. "Okay, awesome." Everyone was dumbfounded, admiring Kakashi's strength in their hearts. But Kakashi was too confident in his own strength. He was only handsome for 3 seconds, and the situation on the court was immediately reversed. It turns out that being used by Kakashi to stop cutting without control is also a water body. And the real no-slashing body quickly appeared behind Kakashi's body. After a few simple and violent martial arts fights, Kakashi kicked Kakashi into the distant lake. The battle was so fast that Kakashi was kicked out when Naruto didn't have time to react. Seeing this, he immediately released the ninjutsu that had already formed seals. Wind-style great breakthrough. A whirlwind violently rushed to No More Slash, but was shunned by No More Slash. After glaring at Naruto coldly, he chose to go to Kakashi who had fallen into the lake. Compared to the kid Naruto, Kakashi was the biggest threat. In the distant lake, Kakashi just came out of the water, but he was controlled by the water prison technique without cutting his body, and then he turned on the theater mode. At least in Naruto's view, it is impossible for Kakashi to be captured by the enemy so easily. As long as he releases a lightning-style Chidori, the ones outside the jail will be electrocuted. Now Kakashi is doing this, I'm afraid he wants to train the three Naruto and see how the three perform. Without cutting the right hand to control the water prison technique, after the left hand was printed with one hand, a watery body suddenly appeared in front of his eyes, and he looked at the three Naruto coldly. Sasuke, little Sakura, Naruto, hurry up and take Mr. Dazna away. Kakashi blinked in the water prison and continued. You are not opponents who won't be cut anymore. He can't leave in order to control me, and he will automatically disappear after a certain distance away from him. Take advantage of this, run. Cut, Naruto sneered. Without you, we will be killed by not beheaded sooner or later. He was telling the truth, and he could see that Kakashi was testing them again. Ha ha ha, do you think you are really a ninja if you wear a forehead protector? No longer sneered and sneered, the attitude of the seniors taught Naruto the three. He seems to be a good teacher. The real ninjas are those who are always hovering between life and death. Someone who is strong enough to be written in the manual by this uncle. Said with pride without cutting the water. Guys like you are not qualified to be put in the hands of this uncle. No matter what, Naruto disappeared in place as soon as it fell. Naruto used the body replacement technique to avoid it, and quickly closed the seal. Boom! Without cutting his body, he appeared in front of Naruto's original position, kicked the double wood to pieces, and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. Earth-style heart decapitation technique. At this moment, his hands never cut the water abruptly under his feet, and he pulled the opponent into the soil with one hand. What? He didn't exclaim again. He didn't expect that the little devil he was still despising would destroy himself in a blink of an eye. Naruto jumped out of the ground, raised his right foot, and kicked the head of the body fiercely, turning it into a pool of water. Everyone was dumbfounded, even if it was just a body that didn't cut it again, but there was also a part of the strength of the elite Jonin who didn't cut it again, but Naruto broke the two moves. It can only be said that the other party despised Naruto so much that the ship overturned in the gutter. Boy, you angered me completely. The man next to the water cell in the distance gave a cold snort, and after a blank expression on his face, he nodded with one hand again, and another water body appeared, holding a knife and rushing towards Naruto without saying a word. Multiple shadow clone techniques. Naruto gave a soft drink, and dozens of shadow clones immediately appeared around them, arranged in 4 rows, and quickly printed. Wind-style great breakthrough. Water-style water turbulence. Dozens of shadow clones shouted in unison, but there was a lot of momentum. The combined ninjutsu was formed again, and dozens of whirlwinds were wrapped in the water, forming a high-speed rotating torrent, rushing straight away without cutting new water. If you don't cut Shui's face with surprise, this yellow-haired kid really doesn't seem to be that simple. But it doesn't stop there. I am most interested in killing geniuses. No longer cut the water body with a sneer, and the same hand seal. Water-style water barrier. As soon as the voice fell, a wall of water blocked Naruto's combined ninjutsu Uzumaki torrent. Naruto didn't show an unexpected look. The purpose of his combined ninjutsu was to block the sight of no longer cut. When the water barrier fell, 10 shadow clone had already used the earth-style dragon hidden technique to bypass the ground without cutting the water body, coming behind the opponent, and then jumping out again, throwing at the not far away without cutting the body. 10 wind demon shurikens. Whoosh whoosh, no longer cut the body and looked gloomy at the wind demon shurikens that were coming towards him, holding the chopped head knife in his left hand, and flew the 2 wind demon shurikens that were about to hit him one by one. Haha. You can't even throw ninjas well, so you can still be a ninja. Is Konoha now so rotten? Without cutting, he looked at the other 8 wind demon shurikens that were shot wide, and said sarcastically. Ha, isn't it? Suddenly, the 8 voices came from behind no longer beheaded, and then they all shouted together. Wind-style great breakthrough. No longer panicked and turned his head. I saw that the 8 wind demon shurikens that had shot off the ground suddenly turned into Naruto, and then used 8 whirlwinds to rush toward him. Without a roar, he had to give up the dungeon controlled by his right hand and stood up to avoid it. Good job, Naruto. Kakashi looked at Naruto's combination of punches, his eyes filled with appreciation, and he regretted that he refused to guide Naruto's request. Now it seems that Naruto is really talented. As a result, Kakashi escaped from the dungeon, and immediately launched a counterattack against Nostalgia. His goal of training the three Naruto has been achieved, and then it is time for him to show Kamui. After Kakashi and No More cut a few moves in close combat, the two simultaneously retreated backwards at the same time, opened a distance of 10 meters, and began to perform ninjutsu. Of course, the main thing is not to cut the knot, and to prepare to use the Great Waterfall technique, Kakashi uses Sharingan to replicate it perfectly. During this period, Naruto's shadow clone and Sasuke worked together to solve the problem of not being cut again. Then, Naruto's body watched the battle between Kakashi and No More killing from a distance. At present, he cannot participate in the battle between the two elite Jonin. Besides, he is not ready to participate, just pick up the ready-made ones and grab the heads later. If you don't cut it anymore, I decided to use my good water-style water dragon bomb technique to defeat Kakashi in one fell swoop. However, it ignored the title of Kakashi Copy Ninja, which was perfectly copied by Kakashi, and at the same time used water dragon bomb technique. Two huge water dragons rose from the lake, rose into the air, collided and bitten each other, and died together. After Kakashi and Noshin finished ninjutsu, they took the opportunity to attack with physique. If he didn't cut it by Kakashi's sorrowful operation, he was in a daze, and he jumped away again, who didn't believe in evil, and was ready to use his expert waterfall technique to attack again. Unfortunately, this time Kakashi still copied all his actions perfectly, and made exactly the same actions and even words with him. The mind that didn't cut it began to collapse, cold sweat emerged from his forehead, the knot in his hand was over, but the ninjutsu couldn't come out. I could only watch the opposite Kakashi condense the great waterfall technique and form a vortex of extremely fast rotation, violently impacting him, knocking him down in one fell swoop. How is it possible? I want to use ninjutsu against him, but I can't keep up with the speed at which he uses this ninjutsu. If he didn't cut his heart, he was stunned, weak and limp under the tree. The shock in his eyes still lingered. His proud water-style ninjutsu was unexpectedly surpassed by Kakashi in a strange way. This kind of psychological pressure is too great, so that no longer cut his mind in a state of collapse, coupled with the physical shock, makes him no longer able to stand up, can only be slaughtered. Kakashiv's won't cut it anymore. But in Naruto's view, Kakashi's application of Sharingan is simply too low level. There were so many opportunities just now that Kakashi could use illusion spells to stop the fight as soon as possible, but he did not do so. Instead, he used this imaginary method to defeat the enemy and consumed his own little chakra. Ended. Immediately afterwards, just as Kakashi was about to step forward to end the life of No More Cuts with kunai, suddenly 2,000 books flew from the side and pierced into the neck of No Cuts. He fell to the ground immediately without cutting, and no more breathing. Everyone looked at the uninvited guest who suddenly shot Shinbin, and immediately became alert. Naruto sneered in his heart. The uninvited guest stepped on the clogs and wore a mask on his face. Naturally, the water that had been hiding in the surroundings was no moon white. Really, dead. Shui Wuyubai stood on a tree branch not far away, sneeringly watching at the end that there is no more life. While guarding against the sudden appearance of Shiro, Kakashi came to the side to not cut the corpse again, and personally confirmed the death of the opponent. Naruto rolled his eyes and walked over and touched the neck that he never cut, as if he wanted to confirm that the other person seemed to be really dead. But what no one can see is that Naruto has left a mark of Flying Thunder God on the neck that he never cuts. Just like the Flying Thunder God imprint left on Obito during 4th Hokage's Nine Tails Chaos in the original book, this imprint will not be revealed, and only the caster can perceive it. Obito hadn't known this mark on his body for more than 10 years. Thank you really. Shiro bowed sincerely to Kakashi. I've been waiting for the chance to kill and never kill. From your mask, you are Kurigakure's chasing ninja, right? Kakashi stared at him intently. As expected, you know so much. Bai complimented Kakashi. Kakashi stepped back, leaving the corpse that would not be cut again, and prepared to let Shiro take the opponent's corpse away. Normally, this is a compromise that Kakashi did not want to cause a dispute between Konoha village and Kurigakure. However, Kakashi hasn't reacted in time. The masked Shiro is actually an accomplice who will not be cut again, a fake. Just when Bai appeared next to the corpse, who would not be cut again, and was about to take the corpse away, he only heard 2 swishes and 2 kuwu shots at the corpse that would not be cut again. Bai immediately took out a long 1,000 books and blocked kuwu. Naruto, what are you doing? Little Sakura asked, immediately dissatisfied. Kakashi and Sasuke also looked at Naruto in surprise. Hey, the guy in the mask, I just want to stop cutting to death, why do you want to stop it? You should be able to find that the kunai was not shot at you just now. Naruto asked with a smile, while his hands were forming seals. Bai was speechless when asked, thinking quickly about the answer. Kakashi finally noticed something was wrong, and looked at Shiro without warning in his hand. Shui Wuyubai thought for a while, but didn't find a suitable explanation, so she picked up the corpse and ran away. Naruto made a seal with both hands, and opened his mouth as a whirlwind spit out to the opponent, but Bai's instantaneous speed was too fast, and he disappeared in the blink of an eye. Naruto could only sigh, and then looked strangely at Kakashi, who was motionless next to him. Kakashi weakly pulled the left blindfold down, then fell to the ground with a faint. This was the result of his excessive use of Sharingan, and no wonder he let it go for nothing. What a crispy guy. Naruto looked at Kakashi's left eye about to move, but felt that the 2 Anbu ninjas had been monitoring him nearby, and could only helplessly suppress his desire. The next morning, the house of the old drunk man Dasna. Kakashi finally awoke, and the 3 of Naruto gathered around him. Little Sakura asked with a sad face, Ms. Kakashi, will he attack us again if he doesn't cut it? Kakashi nodded solemnly and said, yes. But it is estimated that it will be after he recovers from the injury. When the young Sakura and Sasuke heard this, their expressions were horrified, and they became nervous. After all, they were deeply impressed by the horror and strength of not cutting them. So you have to conduct a special training during this time to quickly improve your strength so that you can cope with the next battle. Kakashi said to the 3 Naruto. It's useless. It's all useless. Suddenly, a voice interrupted the discussion. Everyone turned their heads to look, only to see a 5 or 6-year-old boy standing at the door, looking at them stubbornly. If you want to fight Cardo, there is no chance of winning. On the contrary, you will die. Inari, don't talk nonsense. The old drunk man took him in his arms and said to the crowd embarrassingly, this is my grandson Inari. Inari broke free from the old drunk man, turned his head and walked out. Naruto sneered in his heart. He despised this kind of cowardly person who persuaded others to be like him. However, Nienzai is just a little kid, so he no longer cares about him. Of course, Naruto does not have the intention to comfort each other at this time. Everyone is living for themselves, and he is no exception. What do others think, cowardly or not, what does it have to do with him? He only thought about how to make himself stronger, so he immediately urged Kakashi to take the 3 of them to the nearby woods. I heard that you have mastered the method of stepping on trees, it's really good. Kakashi first complimented the 3 Naruto, and then said. Your basics should be almost the same, then I will teach each of you a powerful ninjutsu. Speaking of this, Kakashi glanced at Naruto, and was a little surprised to see that he was unmoved. Let's start with Naruto. Naruto, which ninjutsu do you master now? Tell me about it. Kakashi asked Naruto first. All sea-level wind-style ninjutsu and earth-style ninjutsu, water-style ninjutsu. There are also clone technique, transformation technique, body replacement technique, multiple shadow clone techniques. Naruto looked at Kakashi calmly and replied. He didn't expect Kakashi for anything, so now Kakashi is not grateful or excited for doing this. Think of it as a normal superior-subordinate relationship. Well, judging from your master's abilities and yesterday's combat level, it should be Chunin's level now. Kakashi praised, very good. Next, if you don't cut this enemy again, I think you should try another Master B-level wind-style ninjutsu, and try to restrain some of his mist shinobi technique. After Kakashi finished speaking, he taught Naruto the knot-printing method of B-level ninjutsu, wind-style hurricane and the running trajectory of chakra. Thank you. After Naruto nodded to thank Kakashi, he went to practice. Kakashi looked at Naruto's back, shook his head helplessly, and then said to Sasuke, Sasuke, have you mastered the C-level fire-style ninjutsu? Seeing Sasuke nodding, Kakashi continued, and then I will teach you an A-level lightning style, which is also my own lightning style Chidori. Naruto curled his lips as he listened to the chirping in Kakashi's hand not far away. In the original book, Kakashi taught Sasuke this powerful ninjutsu just before the third session of the Chunin exam, and carried it forward in Sasuke's hands, becoming Chidori Ryu. At that time, Naruto was thrown by Kakashi to Ebisu, the glasses teacher, until Jiraiya appeared. The topic is a bit far off. Wind-style hurricane. Wind-style hurricane. Wind-style hurricane. Naruto retracted his thoughts and slapped his hands. 50 shadow clones appeared around. They didn't speak, but dispersed, and began to practice the wind-style hurricane they just learned. 50 shadow clone is the most suitable number. No matter how many people there are, the duration of shadow clone will be shortened, and the impact on one's brain will increase after the shadow clone is removed. Watching Naruto use 50 shadow clone to cultivate, which is equivalent to 50 times the speed of his own and others' practice, whether it is Kakashi, Sasuke, or Sakura, there is a look of envy on his face. Next, Kakashi taught the three of them after the ninja operation, and then returned to the old man's house to rest on crutches, allowing the three Naruto to practice on their own without worrying about the danger. Only the two Anbu ninjas who were watching Naruto hiding in the dark couldn't help covering their foreheads, and exchanged in a very low voice. Captain Kakashi is really as big as ever. Naruto's body was mixed in 50 shadow clone, sensing Kakashi's departure, and two Anbu ninjas hiding in the dark not far away, with an imperceptible sneer at the corners of his mouth. His perception range has reached 100 kilometers. And now, in his perception, the hiding place 10 kilometers away, Shui Wuyubai was guarding him by his side without leaving any step. Until noon, when Mizumi went out to gather medicine and buy food, and did not leave alone in the hiding place, Naruto knew that his opportunity had come. Boom! A cloud of smoke appeared, and only Naruto stayed in place, panting on the ground, wiping the sweat from his forehead, and then returned to the old man's house for dinner with Sasuke and Sakura. As for whether 50 or 49 shadow clones were released, it would not be noticed at all. At the same time, under the cover of smoke, a shadow clone has already relied on the Flying Thunder God technique, based on the Flying Thunder God mark that was left at the neck position yesterday, suddenly appeared next to him 10 kilometers away. He held a handful of kunai in each of his hands, and when he appeared next to the mark on the neck no longer cut, the kunai of his right hand was inserted into the opponent's neck. Flying Thunder God slash. The one who was resting on the bed didn't react at all, and the neck began to bleed outward. He stared at Naruto in front of him, unable to think of how the opponent approached him, and stabbed him to death without any response. You know, in the past few years, he was hunted down by Kurigakure elites to kill ninjas and assassinated countless times, but he could escape every time. Unexpectedly, this time he fell into the hands of the kid in front of you. It's unclear how a generation of ghosts, the elite Jonin, died like this. In ancient times, Senju Tobirama severely damaged Uchiha Izuna with Flying Thunder God Slash, and Uzumaki Naruto used Flying Thunder God Slash to kill Peachland without cutting it. Although the opponent is only an early elite monster in the entire plot, for the current Naruto, it can burst a lot of rewards. Ding dong. Congratulations to host for killing one Jonin and rewarding 100 points. Ding dong. Host can sell the decapitation knife to the system mall and convert it into 100 points. Is it for sale? Sell. Naruto didn't hesitate to choose to sell. Anyway, this decapitation knife was so good, he didn't need it. Then, he chopped off the head that was no longer beheaded and took it away, once again relying on Flying Thunder God technique to come to the place where he killed the two genin assassinated ninjas and buried it. In this way, other people will think that Kurigakure chased the ninja or the bounty ninja killed it and did not cut it again, and would not consider it in the direction of Kakashi's 7th class. After doing this, Shadow Clone automatically releases, and Naruto's body, who is eating at the old man's house, has an imperceptible smile at the corner of his mouth. He looked at the dazzling array of exchange items and skills in the system mall in his mind, and his heart was flying. I have 202 points now, what should I redeem? Skill upgrade scroll. Which skill is better for upgrading? After lunch, Naruto can't wait to come to the woods again. On the surface, there are 50 Shadow Clone fake decorations, but actually one more. His body relied on Flying Thunder God technique to ran to other places and hid. Naruto confirmed that there was no one around and looked at his personal panel. Host: Uzumaki Naruto, male with sunglasses. Age: 12 years old. Strength: Chunin. Chakra attributes: wind, water, soil. Gifted by Sage Body. Special title: Killing Heart. Bloodline: Sage Body of the Uzumaki clan, level 4, God level bloodline. Deidara explosion style blood succession limit, level 1. Skill: Uzumaki clan Sage Body with skills: superior, huge amount of chakra, adamantine sealing chains, Kagura heart eye, physical healing, sealing talent. Deidara explosion style blood succession boundary skills: introduction, clay ants. Multiple shadow clone technique, excellent. Transformation technique, superior. Clone technique. Body replacement technique, proficient. Super chakra control, beginner. Flying thunder god technique, Xiaocheng. Impure world reincarnation, no entry. Tandem paper bombs, not started. Dark line technique, not getting started. Senju Hashirama wood style ninjutsu, not started. Senju Tobarama water style ninjutsu, not started. Basic physical skills, proficient. Basic illusion, proficient. Basic ninja throwing technique, proficient. Level B wind style ninjutsu. Great breakthrough, beginner. C grade wind style ninjutsu, proficient. Great breakthrough, gale palm. Class C earth style ninjutsu, proficient. Fish in the earth, diving in the earth, beheading in the heart, hidden in the earth. Grade C water style ninjutsu, proficient. Water turbulence, water prison, water body. Thing. Bloodline upgrade scroll 1. Then, Naruto thoughtfully looked at the things that can be exchanged for the 200 points in the system mall. In addition to the B-level ninjutsu, there are also skill upgrade scrolls, bloodline upgrade scrolls, and skill synthesis scrolls that he has not seen before. Skill synthesis scroll can combine 2 superb skills into a magical power. Naruto let out a soft cry. His current master has a lot of superb skills, wouldn't he be able to get a magical power just by using this scroll? Supernatural power, thinking about it, the power will be incredible. Then which 2 skills should I combine? But first consider what kind of magical powers I need. Naruto thought of the next arrangement that he would use another identity in the ninja world. He thought about it for a while and said to the system, by fusing the supernatural level of clone technique and transformation technique, what magical powers can you get? Ding dong. You can get magical powers, everything changes. Keep changing. Isn't it the same as Monkey King's 72 changes? Ding dong. Very similar. But this skill only has Monkey King's ability to change. The greatest effect of this supernatural power is not like transformation technique, making him look like someone else, nor is it automatically returning to the original shape after being attacked. Instead, it can conceal the 9 tails chakra in his body to avoid being noticed by other powerful sentient ninjas. Quote. Naruto smiled. He really wanted to get it, so he quickly said to the system, consume 100 points to exchange skills to synthesize scrolls, and then synthesize everything changes magical powers. Ding dong. Supernatural powers, every changeable, synthesis completed. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for getting the first supernatural power, and a special skill synthesis scroll is awarded again. Haha, the system is still as strong as ever, Ali will give it. Naruto laughed and looked at the remaining skills again. System, what will you get after the combination of adamantine sealing chains and sealing skill talents at the superb level? Ding dong. You can get magical powers tied immortal rope. It's a similar name to the magic weapon in Journey to the West. Maybe it also has the power of that kind of fairy weapon. Naruto thought, system, combine it. Ding dong, the synthesis of magical powers tied immortal ropes is complete. Naruto felt an extra memory and practice experience in his mind. He knew that these were 2 ways of cultivating magical powers. I saw his right hand stretched out, and a black gold rope about 1 meter long appeared in his hand. Dense and mysterious runes could be seen vaguely above the rope. He waved forward, and a passing wild boar in the grass in front of him was immediately caught by the black and gold rope. The wild boar wanted to struggle, but couldn't move. The power of this tied immortal rope is really extraordinary. Next, I will find an enemy to test it myself. At this moment, Naruto suddenly sensed that the 3 ninjas were sneaking towards Konoha village from the direction of the Kingdom of Wind. Ninja of the Kingdom of Wind, is it possible? Naruto thought of the upcoming Chunin exam, and then he couldn't help but think of Orochimaru's Konoha collapse plan. Could it be that these unfamiliar chakras are the ninjas of the sand-hidden village who are going to participate in the Konoha collapse plan? He thought of this, and his heart was about to move. Doesn't this happen to have ninjas and points sent to practice hands? So according to the opponent's forward path, he lay in ambush 1 kilometer in front of the enemy, and had already carved dozens of flying thunder god marks on the surrounding trees and the ground. In order to implement the Konoha collapse plan, Cheyenne Village is preparing to gather more than 200 elite ninjas to travel to the Fire Country in batches and lie in ambush near Konoha Village. Koizumi Sand Turtle is the captain of this group of Sunagaku ninjas. In addition to his name, Jonin, there are 2 elite Chunin in the team. The 3 Sand Shinobi were full of excitement about being able to go to Konoha Village to implement the plan, because Sunagaku and Konoha Village are enemies for generations, and their parents do not know how many people died at the hands of Konoha Village ninjas. Now, they seem to have seen the destruction of Konoha Village in their hands. After all, the current Konoha Village is too weak, 3rd Hokage and Danzo are already very old, and Jiraiya and Tsunade, who are also beginning to grow old, also do not appear in Konoha Village all year round. Therefore, under the leadership of their young and strong Sunagaku 4th Kazekage, they will surely be able to break through Konoha Village, rob them, and finally force Konoha Village to surrender and compensate them with a lot of resources. Thinking of this, the Harazi of Shaochuin Shigui couldn't help but flow down. When they were dreaming and running in the woods, suddenly a black and gold rope suddenly appeared from Koizumi's head and entangled. Koizumi kills the tortoise worthy of Jonin. He immediately used the body replacement technique to avoid him, and then separated from the 2 elite Chunin behind him, and looked in the direction where the black and gold rope appeared just now. But there is nothing there at this time. Careful! Koizumi Sand Turtle yelled to one of his teammates because he saw that the black and gold rope suddenly appeared behind his teammate. But his reminder was still a step too late. He could only watch the black and gold rope firmly bind his teammates and then disappeared. However, he saw the figure of the enemy, a masked woman in black with burning red hair. This is the appearance of a masked woman that Naruto has turned into a masked woman by virtue of his magical powers. With the Flying Thunder God technique, he suddenly appeared behind the enemy, bound an elite Chunin with a fairy rope, and then traveled directly to 10 kilometers away. After this Sand Shinobi elite Chunin was bound by the immortal rope, the chakra in his body was completely unable to be mobilized, and even his strength gradually disappeared. Like a prey tied up by a rope, he could only watch the hunter pierce his neck with a bit of kunai. Naruto wiped the painful bloodline, and once again he instantly reached where Koizumi killed the tortoise. The entire process for him to kill the elite Chunin took only 2 seconds. Koizumi killed the tortoise before he left, and was looking around for his missing teammate while on alert. He did not expect that the masked woman holding the black rope would appear again not far away. Koizumi killing Turtle and another of his teammates resorted to ninjutsu to attack the masked woman. They did not expect that the masked woman's snapshot speed was too fast, and the ninjutsu was not over before they disappeared again. No, it cannot be said that she disappeared, because she appeared 3 meters behind another elite Chunin at the same moment. The black rope in his hand flicked forward. It clearly saw that it was only 1 meter, but suddenly it grew in the wind and became 5 meters in length. The elite Chunin Sand Shinobi, who had just reacted to escape, was immediately bound firmly again. Disappear. The cold sweat on Koizumi Sha *** came out, and the enemy was like a lion majesty hidden in the dark, without knowing when it would appear. But once the opponent appeared, the black gold rope in his hand was like a chain of ecstasy, so that no one could resist. Koizumi Sand Tortoise looked attentively on guard, the masked woman who might appear anywhere around him, the chakra under her feet had gathered, ready to flee at any time. But after waiting for a long time, the masked woman never appeared again, and Koizumi Sand Turtle breathed a sigh of relief, and quickly moved in the direction of the other team. In fact, Naruto has been hiding near the opponent, waiting patiently like a lion majesty. After all, the opponent is a Jonin, and his strength barely reaches the elite Chunin. Just now, he was able to kill 2 elite Chunin instantly, relying on the Flying Thunder God arranged in advance to ambush him, so that he can be out of sight, and the enemy is not familiar with his immortal rope. Now, as an experienced Jonin, Koizumi-san Tortoise must have figured out a way to avoid or even counter him. No matter how bad it is, Naruto will fall into a bitter battle next. This is not what Naruto hoped. According to his current strength, he still likes to give full play to the abilities of the magical power tie the immortal rope. After Koizumi-san Turtle ran for 10 minutes, the anxiety in his heart has not subsided. Based on his fighting intuition over the years, he inferred that the masked woman was still waiting for an opportunity near him. Therefore, he decided to lure the opponent to take the initiative to attack. Boom! A shadow clone appeared and stopped in place and pretended to rest, while his body was hiding nearby, ready to kill the masked woman at all times. After waiting for 2 minutes, as expected, the masked woman lurked near the Koizumi-san Turtle shadow clone, and the black and gold rope in her hand slammed into the shadow clone. Boom! Shadow clone turned into a cloud of smoke and disappeared. Koizumi-san Turtle's face showed a hideous color, and the seal of his hands had already been completed, and he shouted. Wind-style hurricane. A hurricane was generated between the palms, and it quickly rotated from small to large, and came to the masked woman in the blink of an eye. The woman next to her exclaimed that she wanted to escape, but was torn to pieces by the hurricane. But the imaginary splashing of flesh and blood did not appear, but the masked woman turned into a cloud of white mist and disappeared. Shadow clone. Koizumi-san Turtle exclaimed, subconsciously using the body flicker technique to escape from the place, but it was too late. I don't know when, the body of the masked woman has already quietly approached behind her, and the black and gold rope slammed out towards him like lion majesty. Koizumi-san Turtle reacted much faster than the two elite chunin. He immediately jumped up, but after all, the immortal rope is a magical power, it grows quickly, and it still entangles his right foot. The immortal rope was unforgiving. It just wound up the opponent's right foot and snaked up. In less than a second, it wrapped the opponent from head to toe. Koizumi-san Turtle yelled loudly, frightened and angry, but his chakra had long been unable to mobilize, and the strength of his whole body was rapidly weakening. Like a captured wild boar, no matter how hard he struggled, he could not escape the trap of the hunter. Koizumi-san Tortoise is desperate, thinking that as a jonin, he has survived until now. I don't know how many life and death difficulties he has experienced. After all, he can see Konoha's destruction with his own eyes, but he did not expect to die in the middle of the road by this unknown strong man. Hands. Are you Konoha's ninja? Koizumi asked with all his strength after killing the turtle. Oh, I'm Konoha's enemy. Naruto said with a sneer. Koizumi found the last hope in the eyes of killing turtle. In order to survive, he didn't care about the problem of leaking secrets. He hurriedly said. Then you must let me go. I'm going to execute a terrifying plan of destruction against Konoha. Since you are Konoha's enemy, we happen to go together. I also hope to see Konoha destroyed, but I even hope to get points from you. Naruto stopped listening, and the other party was verbose, and pierced into the other party's neck without decisiveness. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for killing 1 jonin and 2 elite chunin, earning 120 points. Haha, this supernatural power is really amazing, it's a weapon for sneak attacking people in secret. Naruto also wanted to continue looking for Sand Shinobi who had sneaked in, but he thought about it. If he killed too many people, I am afraid that Tsunagaku would suspect that the matter was exposed and would no longer participate in the Konoha collapse plan. This was not what Naruto wanted to see. Konoha's plan to collapse must be carried out smoothly, because he wants to see the death of 3rd Hokage and the death of many people in Konoha village. So Naruto returned to the country of Poland, and 120 points were temporarily left unredeemed. At the same time, when Mizu Wuyubai returned to her hiding place after purchasing food and collecting herbs, the headless corpse that never beheaded was greeted. Her tears couldn't stop flowing down. For Bai, who was unfortunate in childhood, not cutting his life was the light in his life and her only hope for survival. But now this hope is shattered and the light is extinguished. He is like a walking dead, his mind is blank, and he has lost the way and direction of his next life. At this moment, Cardo also brought people in. He originally wanted to urge the Nami no Nation bridge to be resolved as soon as possible without cutting, but he did not expect to see the corpse without cutting and the desperate Shui Wuyubai. Cardo couldn't help but yelled, "What kind of ghost do you dare to call this? Are all Kurigakers ninjas stupid?" Bai already seemed to lose consciousness, and had no response to Cardo's insults. He stumbled and held the uncut corpse before going out, but was stopped by Cardo's 2 bodyguards. Bai is not a temperless person. Seeing this, he immediately threw out a few ice thousand books, shot 2 of Cardo's bodyguards to the ground, and then continued to hold the corpse in despair and walked out. No one knew where he had gone. Cardo could only helplessly continue to curse for a while, and then the opponent ordered, "Recruit a large number of wandering ninjas, the more the better. This time I will use the number of people to kill them. I want people to know that I have offended Cardo." What's the end? In the next period of time, Naruto was relieved to train in Poland. On the 3rd day, Kaduo recruited more than 100 wandering ninjas, including Chunin and Genin, and gathered on the nearby islands aggressively, preparing to march towards the bridge. Naruto had already felt all this. His body quietly came near the wandering ninja, still looking like a red-haired masked woman, and then he started wanton slaughter of these wandering ninjas. Multiple shadow clone techniques. As soon as the voice fell, 100 shadow clones surrounded this group of wandering ninjas, each holding a black and gold rope in their hands, waving the rope like a tiger entering a flock. These immortal ropes have extremely strong sealing power. Any ninja who comes into contact will be immediately bound by the whole body. Chakra cannot be used, and even the physical power will be quickly sealed. These wandering ninjas were all stunned. They encountered such magic weapons for the first time, so they didn't have time to react when they didn't know the situation, and they were tied up one by immortal ropes. 100 Naruto shadow clone, holding the immortal rope in the left hand and kunai in the right hand. While the immortal rope is bound to bind the enemy, the kunai in the right hand will pierce the enemy's neck without hesitation. In a blink of an eye, the entire assembly field became sheer hell. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for killing the wandering ninja and earning a total of 178 points. There are now a total of 300 points. The current ability is enough, and I haven't thought about what ability I want to have. I will save the points first, and then redeem it against me when I need it. Naruto thought for a while. The big businessman Cardo was scared to pee when he watched from the side. He wanted to escape, but was honestly controlled by Naruto's body with a celestial rope. Succumb, or die. Naruto's voice rang coldly in his ears. In the next few days, Naruto continued to use shadow clone technique to practice wind-style ninjutsu. This continued until 10 days later, when the bridge was completely completed, and the 7th class finally breathed a sigh of relief. Kakashi had some doubts in his heart. He wondered why he didn't kill again and didn't come to assassinate again. Is it because he gave up the mission and left or escaped because of danger? However, he never expected that what he didn't kill, no matter how much he didn't kill, was actually killed by the kid Naruto next to him. On this day, it was sunny, and the Kakashi team bid farewell to the old drunkard and got up and returned to Konoha village. This mission to the Nation of Waves, the 7th class, was a little rewarding, but unlike the original book, Sasuke failed to open Sharingan, but Naruto's rewards were extremely great, but everyone knew it. He possesses 2 incredible magical powers, and possesses an ATM like Cardo. The most important thing is that he has the method and capital to sneak out of Konoha village at any time and make a fortune in the world of ninja. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.